What's up, everybody? Happy Saturday afternoon to every single one of y'all. Welcome into the stream. Thanks for being here. My name is CeeLo. You're watching On the Go with CeeLo, NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying for the Xfinity 500, the last race of the round of 8. Someone's going to the championship 4 other than Joey Logano and Tyler Reddick. We're going to see who it is. Make sure you're hitting that like button for us. Hit that subscribe. Welcome in, everybody. Running a little late. Sorry about that. That's what happens when you decide to go to the Waffle House about an hour before you're supposed to go live. So, hey, my belly's full, but nothing like NASCAR and Waffle House that go together, right? That's right. So, what's up, Jake? What's up, Austin? Hello, Triton. Hope you feel better, buddy. Sure here. What's up, Chad? What's up? Fruit Snacks says I love the Logano. Yes, I shaved the mustache. What's up, Willie? Just really miss you on the last ball game. I know, man. It's sometimes you gotta not do one. What's up, Dalton? Good to see you as well. Williams here. Bronny, what's going on, dude? How you doing? And Boca Boys and everybody else that was here earlier, thank you so much for hanging out. Hit that like for us as you're coming in. As let's see if I can get the raw feed up here. The audio will be coming in here in about 6 minutes. I hope you guys are having a great morning so far, or afternoon, or next Sunday late, Saturday night late. I don't know, wherever you guys are in the country. We appreciate you being here. But we're going to be bringing you the practice and qualifying for the Xfinity 500. There we go. So I hope you guys are ready to do it. What an exciting race we had last week with Tyler Reddick passing, or Ryan Blaney passing my boy Denny at the last second, and then Tyler Reddick passing Ryan Blaney on the last lap of that. So make sure you guys are also, what's up, Elmer, as well. Make sure you're checking out our paint scheme and race weekend preview. We're having my picks, our recap, and all that good stuff. We hope to see you guys this afternoon for the Xfinity race as well. It's on the NBC Sports app, so we'll be your eyes and ears for everything today. All right, what's going on here? Let me make sure this is up and running. Are you going to be nice to me, or are you going to have to reset everything? Let's say nope. All right. Just waiting on it. 5 more minutes here. We're going to have practice for Group A. Group A and practice first, and then we'll bring in Group B as well. And they'll both have 20-minute starts. And this is our very last practice and qualifying stream for the year. We won't be getting to do it next week because I'm hopefully getting on a cruise ship next Saturday. So this is our last NASCAR Cup Series practice and qualifying for the season. We've tried to done every single one of them except maybe 4 or 3 of them. So one I was actually at. Yes, you'll need a cable provider in order to watch qualifying. I stream everything just about, Austin says. So yeah, so we're going to definitely bring in that stuff here in about 4 more minutes. It'll start. I'll miss the NASCAR streams. Yeah, me too. We've had a great run this year on our NASCAR streams, from Saturday morning practice and qualifying to Xfinity right after, and then on Sundays, and also the truck race as well. We had a good race. What about that last bit of the truck race, huh? Taylor Gray going after Christian Eckes. A lot of people saying that he done him dirty. I don't know. I mean, I think Taylor Gray was mad that he didn't race him clean. Just race. He wanted to race him because he raced him clean in the turn, and he was mad. But that's racing, as some people said in our comments. That's racing and how it goes. So, but 168 us here. Make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe. And what's up, Trenton? Good to see you as well. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Pink, you live in the East. All right. See if we get this raw feed up here. It's not working. 1 second. All right. Now it should work. There we go. Sometimes you just got to reset everything to make everything work. We got it working. All right. You get a 4-day weekend. Nice. 186 in the house. Hit that like as well. It's only 35 likes. Let's blow it out of the water, y'all. Help us get there. Denny Hamlin gear is motivating me. Snake says yes. So we did not hit our goal last week, even though we did it on the baseball stream. We didn't do it on the NASCAR stream. So the agreement is if we don't hit a milestone during the NASCAR streams, Denny Hamlin comes back the following week. And I'm kind of glad because this might be the last weekend we get to do NASCAR. But finish it strong with Denny, and hopefully it brings him some good luck this weekend and how he can maybe get in the championship 4. Now, if he gets in the championship 4, maybe, just maybe, you might see a stream on that Sunday. We'll see how it goes. We'll see. We'll see. Dalton says, "Dang, now I gotta whack the Panthers loose. I'm gonna miss NASCAR. I know, man. I don't know what we're gonna do on Sundays after that. I don't know. Some people ask me to do football. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Might enjoy some Sundays off for a change. Been going Sundays since February of this year. So Chad says, be a YouTuber. They said it's fun. They said, what's up, dude? Did you go live today? I was too busy this morning with stuff. Thank you much, Morgan. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Because we got 1 more minute and it'll be coming in. Hit that like for us as you're coming in, y'all. We're gonna be bringing you Group A practice here in just a second. And then Group B practice, Group A qualifying, Group B qualifying, Round 2 qualifying, and then we'll, it's probably tomorrow. That's right, you said Sunday. Never mind. What's up, Bobby? Good to see you as well. Welcome in. Richard, hello. Welcome in, too. Welcome in. So 1 more minute here. And the coverage is going to be on the NBC Sports app, y'all. You will not be able to watch it on USA or Peacock or anything like that. They haven't got the audio on yet. 21-3 Ole Miss. They did this last weekend for Vegas. The camera, the audio, the video came on, but the camera did not. The audio did not. Awesome. Good, Sydney. Thank you so much. Denny Hamlin fan. Oh, man. Go 24. Go Byron is getting a championship 4 spot. There we go. How about them Dodgers? And as a Red Sox fan, that made you happy. Awesome, Chris. Go back to the black hat, T-Man. So I guess it's a silent... This happened last week. All right, have a good time, Chad. You would think a producer would be like, I can't hear you talk. So Larson -7, Denny Hamlin -18, Blaney -38, and Tyler Reddick and Chase Elliott -43. That's funny. They're talking and they're not. What's up, James Ward? Good to see you. What's up? They're having microphone issues. Something. They're having something. You're welcome, James. Nope, still haven't figured it out that their microphones are not working. But this happened last week in Vegas too. They went into the whole begin and then they realized about 5 minutes in that their mics weren't working. Snake Dirty says, I'm shocked. No, it's still on. That's funny. It's on NBC Sports app, Mocha. Bolt says, Larson top 5. Let's go. So, Briscoe, Larson, Byron, Gregson. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Who's your 4 outs? I'm going to go a 4 out. Chase, Blaney, Byron, and one more. I have to pick somebody. I already had the top 4, right? My favorite Jeep I owned was purple. I just don't like Denny T-Van. So we're listening to the practice where their mics are not working. So you're getting to hear the sounds. And I'll let you listen in. Crank it up. Pat, we can't show the broadcast.
On doubt. And he wants to win for Chris Gabehart as well. He's crew chief. As a combo, they haven't won here together.
I think you have to go into this race, if you're Denny Hamlin, thinking I have to win, right? But how do you win? That's track position. So what does that mean? Get stage points. Race the race getting points, because that's the same thing as putting yourself in position to win. You don't have to be desperate, though. You don't have to make a move early in the race. It's not necessary. So, yes, probably, most likely a must-win, but go into this race thinking track position and stage points.
And the big question mark for the weekend, outside of the playoff drivers, is the Goodyear
Sound
tire.
of NASCAR.
This tire overall is just much softer than anything they have brought to the racetrack as the primary, the only tires that the teams will run. So this right here is the question mark. It's been a question as long as we've been coming to Martinsville since they've concreted the corners. Will it start to take rubber? Will it change colors? Will it even start to kind of gunk up like, you know, icing on a cake? It gets to be that spot where you have to straddle it. I talked to a lot of people in the garage, got a lot of differing opinions. The unknown's going to make it exciting.
Yeah,
was everybody? So no, it's everybody. On Group A or Group B.
To gamble, try things they've never tried before this year. And so many times we go into these events and all the teams think they know what they're going to do. And now they've gotten to the point that they know they don't know what's going to happen. Like, you just don't understand. So a lot of learning is going to go on. And who learns it the best? Because it will change whose car runs well and whose doesn't.
The other thing very unique about Martinsville is not just the shape, but watch the driver's left right there. Red and white curbing. It's not 90 degrees like the street at home. It's like a 45, but I'll tell you, with these low-profile Goodyears, I actually think it's more violent when you touch it. Like the old tire, it always kind of
because of the new tire setup. Oh, that's right. Yeah,
really,
forgot to talk about that on our race preview.
Not the move.
Jeff, you're a winner.
So a softer tire on one side,
when you would go out in practice,
and the option tire on the other.
Early, straight away. How did you want your car to feel? So, Div, I believe all this is an aggressive racetrack, and it's a little bit of hand-to-hand combat. The greatest thinkers win these races. If you look at who wins a lot of races in Martinsville, it is not only the driver, but the teams. Think about the success of Hendrick Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, but also the drivers driving those race cars. You have this is possibly a precision game. You cannot miss your mark by
it might help with the competition,
and you have to be carrying the right
Make
amount
more
of speed.
stops.
So there's decisions to be made. You can run this racetrack. It's a one-groove racetrack. However, how you run that groove, it's adjustable. How much corner entry arc do you have? Meaning, how high do you enter the corner? When do you get to the bottom of the racetrack? There's a qualifying way to do it, and that's using a lot of racetrack, but you can't race like that. So in this situation, I need to know that I can run the very bottom of the racetrack. I can block somebody on corner entry. I can leave the corner with good forward momentum. So it's not always just about lap time. It's about, what do I feel as a driver? Can I carry speed?
Larson and Byron can make it in tomorrow. Just need a great qualifying effort. Thank you, Chris, for subbing.
Entry speed, but in doing that, you also have to rotate the corner. That's a very difficult combination to find.
In the September of 1997, Ward Burton won the pole position.
But
it was his brother and our Jeff Burton who drove to victory lane, and Kim was pretty happy. Hey, we saw this lady celebrating in Daytona when her son went to victory lane. This time it was hubby. Good memories, mate.
You could have covered that in the Olympics.
Here's one of the onboards we'll have for you. This is Tyler Reddick. Love this shot, looking ahead at Ross Chastain. I caught up with Ross earlier, prior to this session, Steve.
Can't wait to see the cams. Long practice, 45 minutes. You're right.
And
Brown, what's up, dude?
Collect the actual part of the fence where he scraped off with the Martinsville sign, and the track gave that to him, and he said, I'm yet to pick it up. I've got to pick it up and put it somewhere, find a good home for it.
Yeah, it was one of the many memories this track has created in a move that was breathtaking at the time. I'm thankful it's not
you won't be able
anymore.
to, Oscar. There's not going to be anybody because it's on the NBC app.
Race, it needed this. It was a kind of a Hail Mary for sure. Now the Hail Melon. He actually grabs fifth gear, goes wide open around the wall.
It still doesn't look real. And you know, now that we've seen
that day was horrible.
We've seen it, we recognize it's real, but in real time, I couldn't process what I just watched.
I said to him, I've watched the onboard a ton. See this part here? And I said there was a noticeable big clunk. And he said, yeah, I noticed that too. I didn't realize that the wall kicked out there a little bit. And he said that was the highest G hit of the whole moment.
Well, the other thing what he said was that
was crazy.
Blacked out.
Corner Jack,
like he lost a little bit of awareness.
Yeah, like some tunnel vision.
Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, top of the order here.
What a crazy move. It shows you what people are willing to do.
And it worked for a lot of reasons. One reason is around here they run third and fourth gear in a 5-speed transmission, so there was a high gear that was never used on the racetrack. That's why it looked like it was going faster, because most tracks you're already in high gear. So there was a lot of things. I give him unbelievable credit for giving it a try. You saw right there a little front tire smoke on corner entry. We're going to talk a lot about that, Jeff, just how hard these next-gen cars want to be driven into the corner.
And we talk about this tire. So Denny Hamlin, he's fastest on the board so far. His fast lap was a 19, so essentially a 20 flat, and now he's running 2050. So a half a second fall off in 22 laps.
I'm not sure where that stacks up. It seems like maybe a tenth of a second more than normal. Doesn't seem like it's a huge amount of fall off. But the teams will figure it out as they run, as we see Joey Logano.
Where was he last weekend? It was almost like
Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're talking about practice. That's right, man. Jason, good to see you. John says, will you be able to review qualifying today? No, won't be able to watch. Won't be able to watch the broadcast.
Window, playoff cars 1 through 7.
It's a move NASCAR banned the following week. They did.
To be after the win a week before. So
while we're at the other end of getting closer
Tina, what's
to
up? Good
the
to see you as
championship
well.
4 and the championship race, right at the beginning,
Thank
when
you,
the
John.
playoffs began at Atlanta Motor Speedway, who was it to ensure he was going through to the round of 12? First up, it was the driver of the 22. Yep, straight out of the box, he won. And then, after being the final driver to qualify and transfer to the round of 8, he did it again to confirm his position in the championship 4 and have a shot at becoming a 3-time NASCAR Cup Series champion.
No groups, just practice. You know what? That'll confuse
so
people.
far today, 26 laps and counting on the board for Joey Logano. At the beginning, he called his car a little soft, and he was told from the team, well, we don't stand out necessarily.
Elliott is pretty much in a must-win. Yes, he has to win.
Care of it from here.
He's the last one in the last place.
To get this report, I was reminded just how difficult it is to do work at Martinsville Speedway. You hear how loud it is. I'm going to step from behind my barrier here, and it gets a little bit louder yet. So you can tell that when you are here, you've got to definitely use your headset when you're talking. You're not going to be able to hear each other.
Morning, Grand Rapids myself.
Yeah,
Mark
much made of Bristol, because I do think it's a little bit louder with the stands all the way around.
Michael McDowell fan,
noise,
Austin
and then the
says.
heat.
Any Michael
This
McDowell
short track,
fans out there?
So much braking is being used. The gearbox also generates a tremendous amount of heat. So for the mechanics on pit road,
keep hitting that like button, trying to get to 100 likes.
Minutes. Hard to hear. Everything you touch is hotter than you really expect it to be.
Christopher Bell, Mobil 1 Toyota Camry. Bell sits in third and is the highest placed driver on
You can tell by practice who grew up on short tracks.
Look into your crystal ball, Jeff. How do you see the weekend playing out for him? He's in a comfortable position, but the way that the last couple of races have gone, are you ever comfortable?
Trying to get to 100 likes, y'all. Help us get there.
But Christopher Bell, he's the most prepared he's been for this situation. I believe this is a championship contending race team. He believes in himself. He believes in the race team. You just go execute. Do your job.
It has been,
if it doesn't work out because something out of your control, then it is what it is. But just focus on what it is that you need to do as a team. And that's all you can do. And this team is capable of doing that. This moment's not too big for them.
It's just short track
racing. He won here 2
racing.
years ago. And with that win, it was with authority.
Sure hope the Watermelon Man upsets some playoff drivers today, William says.
In the championship 4. So to your point, Jeff, he's up for it, he's ready, and knows that they've done this before.
It takes an entire team, and one guy I want to point out on pit road, because Jeff, you and I see just how hard it is to survive and advance in these playoffs. Christopher Bell's crew chief
I'm honestly curious to see how McDowell will do in the 71 next year. Interesting. Anybody else think that as well? Austin, thanks for subscribing.
Between his time with Kyle Busch and now with Christopher Bell.
Awesome,
Two
James.
amazing race car drivers. But so much can go wrong. We talk about how you approach the races. What's your strategy? All the leadership.
Next Saturday.
To think that one of these crew chiefs has been able to put that. That's like the Chad Knaus era of 5 championships in a row, right? 8 years in a row of making the championship 4.
There's Adam Stevens.
Good to be back.
John, you got to have a cable subscription or NBC app subscription to watch.
He just went out there and ran 34 laps, and that.
But right here, listen to, and we'll private as much as we can
really
for you.
Good speed, Dave.
So, Jeff and Lee, you have a driver and a crew chief sitting next to you, right? So the conversation 5 laps ago from crew chief was, let's work on it. Driver,
you're going to enjoy our stream today.
Well, 5 laps went by, and finally Adam Stevens said, okay, that's a good lap, but let's bring it in. They want to work on it.
So, Steve, I would say a little bit of a mindset change for the teams with 45 minutes of practice and 2 sets of tires,
says, I hope
right?
the 8 will turn it around next year.
You're so accustomed to really not being able to come in and make changes. You don't have enough time.
But
Adam Stevens recognizing that, okay, we have another set of tires. We can make a change here, get a read on it, and then we'll put that set of tires on.
When he ran 4 laps.
Adjustment I think you'll see most of these teams make.
And I think we've seen a threshold. You had mentioned about a half a second of tire fall off.
Briscoe, when he ran 15.
Was in the mid-20s on laps. Now that we've seen some cars in the mid-30s, it looks like 7, almost 8 tenths. And that's what I'm waiting to see, Diff, right, is normally at Martinsville for years, there was kind of this threshold cliff. If you just drove it too hard, you would burn the rear tires off, and you could literally the speed completely fall out of your race car.
Fox showed every qualifying, every practice, everything, right?
Back to what Jeff was saying about being an intelligent race car driver is you have to push, but you have to drive with that egg underneath the throttle pedal. You do not want to spin those rear tires.
Talking about pushing, the driver on your screen, Kyle Larson pushed. He was being forced to come from behind again, and late in the race last weekend in Miami,
Bobby.
He saw a gap, he went for it, and Jeff, that gap evaporated, and this is the net result. I spoke to Cliff Daniels, his crew chief, this morning. He said, I would never try and take that out of my driver. Going for it is his MO. That's what we love about him. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'd never ask him to change his style.
Well, I hear that, but also hear him on the radio and, not like it when he gets himself in a situation.
Busy with football.
I agree. I think that's the right way to approach Kyle Larson. I will say this. I didn't love that move because I thought he had the fastest car on the racetrack. I don't think he had to make that pass at that moment. I understand the need to make that pass, winding down the laps. I typically am great with Kyle Larson making those decisions and then end up getting a wreck. But I think with the speed that he had, I think with the speed that he had and the laps left, he could have still made that pass. That's easy for me to say.
Sure.
I'm sitting up here in 65-degree booth. He's out there in the middle of the heat.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central. Will be live at 2:30 Central.
Chase Elliott, he has the most laps on his tires of anyone, and he is almost a second off
SVG
of his
better than Busch.
lap. He now is coming for his 43rd lap, and we'll see the guys behind him start to catch him. He's in perfectly clean
Larson.
air.
Well,
There's
SVG's
not
only ran
a better
19
situation
laps,
he could be in from a speed standpoint. The 54 car, Ty Gibbs, is behind him. Let's see.
Ty running the top a little bit. I don't know if that was on purpose. Oh, no. He got up there and got some junk on his tires. That didn't work.
But it's kind of leveled off a little
dark
bit.
horse,
Got
Kelly.
to those 70s and 80s, and that's where it sat as far as fall off.
Well, now we have Denny Hamlin, who just left pit road. He's going to fire off behind Elliott, and Hamlin has, I'm looking, 22. All right, so 22 laps on tires in the 11. Plus, they've cooled off from being on pit road. I want to see how well they fire off, because as a crew chief, it's just not our new tires better. If I don't pit and cool my scuffs, how many laps do I get? So let's ride on board and see what it looks like on the 11 car, right on the front bumper.
And from that first run, 10-lap average and 15-lap average, this 11 car was the best car.
All right, let's have a listen. Let's have a listen for a lap or two, and then you guys tell the viewers what you like, what you don't like, what you hear.
You can see all the speed came on entry to the 9 car. Watch this. Big gain, big gain, big gain. Now look at the gap. Stays the same. So the speed right now with the new tires is on corner entry compared to the 9 car.
And it's a half a second faster a lap.
Yeah, he caught Chase pretty quick.
Tire life. I also think that's tire temperature after being on pit road. I'm sure the 9 will let him go.
But I don't think this is something we would have seen last year. With that tire, I think this is more tire fall off than what we would have seen at that big of a rate.
Keep hitting that like, keep hitting that subscribe.
I think so far, I think
another playoff week with no practice or qualifying on TV.
At least some of what they were hoping it would do.
They got to show that soccer. What's up, Pierce?
Question is now, do you get a race where the option's available? Because if there aren't a whole lot of yellows, and you know, this is the beauty of Martinsville. Short run car versus long run car. This has been the debate here forever.
Who is a YouTube guy as their car this weekend?
From one winner to another. Guy who's won twice here in the last 5 visits. William Byron. Spoke to Rudy Fugel, his crew chief, this morning, and they're feeling pretty upbeat about their chances. They've had great consistency
well, you can see right here, Bobby,
with this car after starting the year, winning the Daytona 500 and a real burst of energy and success. There was a bit of a dip midsummer, but they've worked their way back, and they feel they have as good a chance as anybody
well, no Denny
to be racing for a title in Phoenix next weekend.
John says Denny's my choice, and Chase Elliott is always going to be my go-to guy.
Talking about earlier results, let's take you back. Let's go right back to the beginning of the season. And that's the way it finished for William Byron and his Hendrick Motorsports teammate Alex Bowman. How close was that?
The Daytona 500 was one of our first NASCAR streams of the year.
April, that's that 40th anniversary occasion for Hendrick Motorsports to get a 1-2-3 with William Byron leading them the way. How'd you feel about that, Steve? For how many years you spent at Hendrick Motorsports?
It was no surprise they ran that well here. This
is those really 24s in the chat if you're a Byron
Some
fan.
of the best memories and the worst memories for an organization surround this racetrack. I was fortunate to get my first win here with Jeff Gordon as a crew chief in 05, my final win as a crew chief with Dale Jr. in 14. And Chad and I spent a lot of time driving back and forth between Concord, North Carolina, and Martinsville, Virginia, in our trucks, talking about what we needed to do. Oh, big wreck. Denny Hamlin has backed into the fence and destroyed the back of this 11 car.
What the heck?
Stuck. You heard on the radio, stuck throttle for the 11. That is real serious. You wonder if it has something to do with the tire buildup, the tire rubber.
What the heck?
What a huge hit. I looked up, and he was going backwards at a tremendous amount of speed.
Throttle got stuck, and he nailed the wall.
Of this.
We have to start earlier than that because I can't tell. It sounds like it's out
there
of the gas, but maybe it's stuck just too far.
Start in the back of the pack.
Well, what he could have done is clutched it. Right there. He could have just put the clutch in and got the thing where it would slow down.
Yeah, you could tell he's going faster than he wanted. He locks up the tires. Denny Hamlin's not going to make that mistake. Let's listen.
Denny Hamlin.
So, you know, it doesn't sound like it's stuck wide open, but obviously something carried him
into
the corner with way more speed than he was looking for, Jeff.
And look, that is a remarkable job to back that car on the racetrack.
Yes.
If the throttle's stuck and to back the car in, that is an amazing job of Denny Hamlin recognizing the issue and then making a major adjustment to keep it from just head on into the wall. That is an unbelievable job and a tremendous bad break.
There goes
for
the pole. There goes the good spot.
Fastest guy on track as we speak in this 45-minute practice period.
This playoffs.
Can he get any good luck whatsoever?
You couldn't write the
any good luck.
Here, you're fastest. So many wins here. Everything looks like it's going, and now this car is absolutely destroyed. Back up for sure.
Yep.
Won't get to qualify. We'll have to start in the back. Everything. We'll have a poor pit selection. I mean, this is a big avalanche of situation here.
I can't wait to hear
more bad luck here. This track.
What he says about what he did when he knew the throttle was stuck. What did he do? And look, this is call it bad luck, call it whatever. A throttle
slammed his helmet on the car.
That is not acceptable. Now, we don't know what happened, right? We have no idea what happened, but that is very dangerous.
figures. Exactly. I'm driving to Sacramento. Awesome, Kenneth Fox. Have fun.
Denny Hamlin and his team kind of had their backs against the wall a little bit in this playoffs. They kind of survived through some of the rounds, but at the
he crashed.
I thought Denny stepped up and had one of his best races, and then brought some speed.
He was the fastest on the track.
To the other races.
And then look at here, right?
Yes.
Jeff? I mean,
yes.
Have a listen.
Here we go. Fastest car on the track, and he wrecks.
We heard it live. Denny said, I heard throttle stuck on the radio. Let's listen into what he said.
Throttle stuck. Throttle stuck.
It's
going to be a backup for sure.
Said twice. So like I said, you could see the frustration, you know. So when we're on board, right, it's not still at high RPM, like the throttle's completely
so he was going
wide open, not
I'll let you listen in. They're going to tell you
what are driving to the absolute limit of the grip. So if that throttle is just in a delay, right, Jeff, if you lift and it doesn't follow your foot up, if it's not an instant deceleration and onto the brakes, that's it. That's too many miles an hour into the corner. You could see it with the left front lockup, and then Denny, whatever he does behind the wheel, Jeff, to your point,
pretty good.
An absolute fantastic job getting the car spun around instead of hitting with the right side and not going all the way around and hitting with the left side.
Think about the swings in emotion and fortune. A week ago at Homestead Miami Speedway, Jeff, he was this close. He was leading in those closing stages of the race. Ultimately finished third and had a chance to lock himself into that championship four, and now the 11 team is on the back foot, being forced to go to a backup car.
I don't know if y'all can see the back end of the car.
Here it is. As a reminder, it was one of his best performances in
Denny,
quite some time.
He's our man. I'm super
racing
if I
Chase
can.
Elliott hard, ultimately racing
like,
Blaney hard. And this was the moment.
And bad luck, just stop following this
where he
man.
said, Blaney had a better run than me there.
What place is Christopher Belli's in 7th right now?
Here comes Tyler Reddick going all around the outside. And he said, you know, I didn't have my team owner hat on then. I'm locked in as driver
Yep, you're right, Robbie.
And
it's going to be a tough uphill battle tomorrow.
And then it just went away like that. So he knows what he's up against. Well, coming to today, knew what he's up against.
To the start of the race. You're right, Rema.
Unfortunately for the 11 team at Joe Gibbs Racing. 20 minutes left.
Rema's your boy not showing the practice.
Of Front Row Motorsports, who's in the top
Better
5
now
at
than
the moment.
in the race. Better now than in the race. You're right, Kelly. We got all 500 miles in front of them. Anything can happen.
This team looking to get to the end of the year and then start building for next year. A lot of good things happen with this car and around Todd Gilliland this year.
This is practice, Pastel. Denny's not going to get to qualify either.
In him, signed him to a contract for next year. Very early in the year they did that.
It seemed like a hard hit. At least he turned it, didn't back it in.
He's won here in Truck Series.
I wonder if they could take the engine out.
And he's had some decent results in Cup as well.
And Robbie says God tried to tell Hamlin it's time to wrap it up.
By the way, you may have noticed that an extra chunk of time added to the total time. It was an additional
500
3
laps,
minutes,
not 500 miles. You're right.
For that stoppage.
Thank you, Larry.
Here's Bubba Wallace in the Xfinity 23 Toyota Camry. And if you have a close look, the imagery of this design.
Denny, he's our man. If he can't do it, Lawson can.
And newborn son are on there as well. It's kind of a cool, you have to look a little closer. There you go, that's a great shot. For the Xfinity 500 tomorrow here at Martinsville.
Bubba Wallace in that Xfinity 23 was one of my favorite paint schemes of the week.
Guys come in and put tires on.
Pop. Bad news if you're just getting here, bro.
New tires versus old tires out there. We talk a lot about the playoffs.
T-Brown says they'll pull the engine, but if there's an issue with the throttle, yeah.
See right here, you get a sense this is new tires versus old tires. I think the same goes
Denny
for this,
crashed in practice. His throttle got stuck.
He had some really bright moments.
Tore
I
up
know
the
he
car.
was dejected at the way
David says 11 is on my fast 5 regardless, CeeLo.
For the most part,
I know he is.
Steve, they had really good speed.
Good morning from SoCal, David.
Maybe you just need to execute a little bit better. Had some chances to win some races and didn't get it done. But they have to feel like
Steve's
there's
like,
a
I'm
ton
picking
of
Denny for the
positives
win.
going on at 2311.
A little surprise from the news from the 23. Booty Barker won't return as the crew chief to this car. He's going to take another position within the organization. I think Booty is a great mind. But more than that, I think he has found a relationship with Bubba Wallace over the radio. They've really been able to accomplish something
Pop.
together.
I'll show you the
so
back
I
end
was
of the car.
surprised by that news. But, sometimes those, that's how you move forward, right? You just continue to listen to your people, both crew chiefs and drivers, and adjust as needed. So we're not sure who will take the role, but we know it won't be Booty.
That's the back end of the car.
And Booty's role will be shop-based, right?
Well, it says another role. I don't know if that's shop-based, traveling in the engineering group. I think it's a little to be determined.
Okay. Yeah, some rumors out there. 2311 may be expanding.
I know qualified yet. Kyle Busch is running in the back.
He's certainly a talent that they want to keep in that house.
32nd fastest for Kyle Busch in practice.
And on the hood, there's a really nice send-off. Thanks to the Auto Owners Insurance as the title sponsor for this week. You may notice right on the front of the hood there, it says thank you, Martin. They've been a long-time supporter, big fans. In addition to the business side of it, Jeff, as you know all too well, you get very close with your team partners and sponsors. And just giving Martin Truex a send-off to say thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for us and at Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Martin does such a great job. We've talked about him. What kind of person he is.
Kyle Busch only ran 4 laps.
He builds relationships with his partners.
Jamie, probably so.
He works hard to make sure that he's doing what they.
The sponsors FedEx Compact Delivery.
It's important. We need companies here that have success, and he does his part.
What are we looking at the clock? Just under 19 minutes left in this 45-minute session that was punctuated by a crash suffered by Denny Hamlin and the 11 team. Significant damage to the rear of that car when he went into the turn 3 wall.
Terry, what's up?
And they're forced to scramble now for a backup car.
A lot of teams now are going out on new tires, and we're getting ready to have those moments where drivers are catching guys with older tires, trying to get by them. This is why I love practice, the way you and I did, Steve.
This is how it used to be.
No, he cannot.
It's a race. I mean, this is
start at the back of the pack, no qualifying.
To it.
I love this shot. Look at the tire tracks at the top of the screen. People come off nice and straight. You don't see them, and then somebody slides, and all of a sudden there's a new set of tire tracks.
I know, man. He's cursed.
What are you both noticing?
What's up, Steven?
Some marbles, some of the tire degradation, and also the coloration of the track. What are you noticing,
Stevie?
What do you see first that grabs your eye?
So, I think the track looks like it kind of always does in practice. I don't think it's taken more or less rubber than normal. I do think there are some marbles offline. Once again, that happens a lot in practice.
Pretty much start over.
The second groove.
Pretty much they're going to have to start over.
It's going to be interesting to see.
Thanks for all the subscribers
hard.
today.
I know this is weird, but your mind kind of plays tricks on you. Every time you come here, you try to imagine what it looked like
Let's go. 27.5.
To be honest, we don't get 45 minutes straight practice, so it's kind of hard comparing apples to oranges to what we had in the spring.
Yeah, that'll be fun. You guys can watch it on YouTube.
You see the rubber being driven into the racetrack. Those aren't marbles. That right there is not marbles. That's rubber being driven into the racetrack. What we don't know, and you and I have lived this, will this rubber build up on the racetrack?
That's right.
And when it does, it's a challenge because you have to find a way to straddle it or go under it. And it really changes the racetrack.
Yeah, like right here sometimes you'll get this big kind of clumpy rubber and you'll literally drive in, like 2 or 3 feet higher so it goes between your tires, kind of like straddling a seam on the asphalt.
The other option is you can actually run the right sides through it. And when you're doing that, you're trying to carry so much speed through the center that you have no choice but
long
to run
winter.
Through it.
That's right.
Depending on the way your car drives,
he will be,
make
Bobby.
better lap time than that.
I'm sure every circumstance and every situation was different, Jeff, but how many laps, say on average, would you have to work on somebody before a passing opportunity presented itself? How many laps did you have to work on somebody around here? Was 2 enough? Didn't they take 3?
It depends on what you see them struggling with. If you see them on corner entry struggling, then it's going to be a pretty quick process.
Mavis will be his new sponsor.
But if they can carry speed, even if they're a little slow in the middle, but can leave with good speed on the bottom of the racetrack, that's a grind. That's hard making that pass.
Great view up.
Still picking Denny to win.
Busch, the Cheddar's on board.
It'll be a miracle.
He kind of just let him go. Had enough traffic.
If you are a Kyle Busch fan, let me see those rowdies.
You're starting to get a little of that color you know, it will really build up. And when it does, it gets spectacular. Remember that one year, like, I think this shows our age, but the second lane actually came in. You ended up running, running like a groove off the curb, and everybody's mind was ready to explode. It made no sense.
Yes. My father rarely got on the radio, but we were running the second groove, and he got on my radio and told me I can't run the second groove at Martinsville.
Yeah. Thank you, Pop. I don't get to wear it much.
Watch me.
So when I get the opportunity,
very odd day.
I do. So Truex fastest right now. Corey LaJoy, what the heck?
Let's go back into championship mode.
And Denny Hamlin.
And let's talk about the
still third
fastest,
fastest, and he's been sitting in the pits for about title. 20 laps.
He came so close last weekend at Homestead Miami Speedway, did Ryan Blaney.
I get about 15 minutes left in practice.
In the hours and days following, saying he lost a little bit of sleep over that one on Sunday night. Only to be a spectator to see Tyler Reddick go all the way around the outside.
Yeah, think about the emotion, right?
Oh,
so he lost the lead on the restart, and then ground his way back to getting by the 11, which I thought that was it, right? That was going to seal the deal.
And as you see on the graphic bottom left, he's minus 38 to the cut line. It is a massive day, not tomorrow, but today for Ryan Blaney in the 12.
So we just had this conversation about, you know, how hard it is to pass, right? So the two.
I was not excited about practice until Denny crashed his car.
And Truex,
Cheryl,
being Martin Truex, isn't going to make a mistake. He's going to put his race car.
Keep hitting that like button for us. Subscribe if you're new.
They ran him down, and they got there, and they're like, "Oh, what do we do with him?" And now the 12 has run these guys down. So this is a perfect example of what happens in the race, right? One guy is just a little bit off, but he's good. And he's not going to make a mistake, and it just stacks everybody up. And this is when
he's going to pretty much have to win.
Flare. This is when time starts to run out. You start changing what you're doing. High entries, that's opening the door to somebody to drive underneath you. This is when it starts to happen.
Bell needs to be,
and
Christopher Bell needs to be an 8
all day on Sunday.
Look at this, making a move on the inside of Harrison Burton. Prior to this session starting, a couple of the drivers were cycled through the media center to talk to a packed media center. And Chase Elliott was asked about, you know, here, typical short track racing, getting past, was asked about
short track racing.
The truck race last night. And he just said, listen,
21-17,
it is a situation,
wow.
Steve, of you better take advantage of a situation, otherwise you're going to be the one being taken advantage of.
Denny says she's happy that Denny crashed as well.
It's better to be on the attack than be on the receiving end.
I just think the era of drivers that expect respect are just gone. I don't think drivers, while there is a tremendous amount of mutual respect for the job being done and the talent they have behind the wheel, there's this obligation to take your performance to the next level. And I think the format does that. The style of racing has encouraged it. We had seen it crossed this year. Austin Dillon, NASCAR finally had to step in and say, we're going to try to draw a line. I think there's a line out there. I'm not sure if every driver knows where that line is or they would all agree what that line is. I'm not, you know, it might get tested again on Sunday afternoon here with so much on the line.
12 minutes left in Group A, practice. 12 minutes.
12 minutes left in practice before we have a brief pause, and then we'll go into qualifying mode. Here's what's happening at Joe Gibbs Racing. Dave Burns, give us the latest.
And Lee, when that 12 minutes is up, it'll be quiet here at the Martinsville Speedway, and Denny Hamlin will talk to us about the accident we just saw on the track that destroyed this extremely fast Camry. I just talked to the crew, and right now they're still assessing the car to see if they can get it square enough to roll through tech to see if it is square enough to repair and put in the race. There will be no qualifying lap taken by Denny in this car or a backup, but right now they're still assessing it before they push it through to see if it'll be square enough. Steve, man, I don't know. That's a really messed up back end.
Well, the one advantage of the next-gen car is it's built in modules. So there's a front third, the front clip.
There you go. You can see the picture.
Section, at the driver, the cockpit area. Then a back third, the rear clip that bolts on. So he hits square enough that I think the team wants to go and see if the middle section and the front section are still square. You can really just unbolt the back, put a new piece on, new bodywork, all bolts on. It is a short track, so aero not being as vital. If this was a high-speed track, there's no way I think they would repair it because the diffuser and everything is damaged. But there's obviously something in the car that they would like to keep. This one's surprising to me, but Chris Gabehart knows what he's doing. There's a reason he wants to check this car out.
Yeah, he's fine.
How were you in those situations when you were put in this pressure cooker mode?
You know me, my brain works best in chaos, so I actually thought this is probably where I was the best, is when you got thrown some adversity like this.
You're right.
This is when your leadership, and really, this is when the entire team's kind of fortitude, mental fortitude, are you kind of tough enough to not let the emotion overwhelm you in this situation?
I
understand. Look how calm everyone's. No one's running around.
I agree.
They're having a plan right here. And just to go back to this situation, Jeff,
that metal bumper is bent.
These cars are set up where
the frame is bent.
If their throttle position is high enough and brake pressure is high enough, the car stops putting power in. It's like a hung throttle situation. There's no telling to know if that worked or didn't work in the ECU of this 11 car. It's just, until we talk to Denny, it'd be just a total guess of what he felt.
There's tons of work put in.
Yeah, he hit the
Jack
wall.
Roush put in tons of work years ago in developing a system that measured manifold pressure and throttle position and all that, and it would shut the engine off. And so that has been
Butterfly, right?
changed throughout the years to go to
hit
the
that
ECU.
If you like Denny Hamlin crashing, hit that like.
Works, and part of the safety evolution. But regardless of all that, Denny Hamlin, to not end up going head on into the wall, that's just a great job by him.
He had the speed. He's been overtaken since the accident on
Don't kick a hungry dog. That's right.
And Corey LaJoie with a good practice lap speed as well.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that stat there,
Zero. Valuable laps out on this Martinsville track. And then
so the bumper isn't part of the frame; it's the throwaway piece. Okay. Well, I guess that's good news then.
On practice speed at the moment. And 9 minutes left to make the most of it.
So here's what I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Truex, now he's on older tires, and look what's happened behind him.
Look at this angry little bunch.
And this is...
Wow, I got Truex, and then you got Busher, Bubba, Larson.
You're kind of hoping to see that, yes, new tires do matter. Look at
Gregson and Briscoe.
Side by side at Martinsville. This is practice.
It's beautiful. Look, make the most of it.
See Keselowski making a turn.
Busher.
I'm sorry.
Hop on another one, she said.
They went ahead and changed sponsors for you, Jeff.
Build Submarines love having them here.
Chase Briscoe is in this group.
Correct, Philip.
Noah Gregson, pardon me, is in this group. Kyle Larson is at the back of it as well.
And horrible pit position as well.
Harrison Burton off the back of it.
So this is where Steve,
taking the gas tank out right now from the 11.
If we do get these big fall off moments, this is where experience matters. Some of these young drivers haven't driven in this racetrack in this
7.5 minutes left.
And so what do I need my car to do? What can it not do? Like, you have to make sure it has rear grip. You have to make sure it turns the best. A guy like Martin Truex, a guy like Denny Hamlin.
He didn't. His throttle got stuck, Butterfly.
Guys, I think that's an advantage.
Truex suffered a pretty rough blow last weekend. He had a fast car and was running well, and they had a jack fail on one of the stops.
Look, Denny is third fastest still.
Back to 26th off pit road.
And the other guys have run 73 laps.
That was a tough one.
Or 40 laps more.
Maybe, just maybe, Martin, the way that he has started this weekend, he might have a chance to get that elusive victory in his final full season as a Cup driver.
We've seen some
That's how strong that car is.
CeeLo did it. Jeff Gordon going back and winning here. We saw Clint Boyer kind of get his final win here. Winning your final season or full-time season, I know it's important to these guys.
It's such a difficult racetrack, Steve. That's where you want to win. Tracks that are difficult, that are a major challenge. Some drivers just don't like this racetrack.
I know.
So small, so confined. Others love it.
It's be interesting on Chase Elliott. I don't know if they put their second set of tires
I think he would have had the pole, too.
Laps. It's hard to know. We'll be able to tell by overall speed here right away. It's not the only way to know.
We're going to talk to Denny after the practice is over.
All over Christopher Bell, and Joey Logano's getting a
throttle
good look
got stuck
as well.
as an easy excuse,
and
Steve
Bowman said in the lead up to this weekend is that he's going to be cheering on his Hendrick Motorsports teammates.
Try to get the 200 likes. Hit that subscribe as well, y'all.
There's 3 of them trying to make 2 spots, right? So he said he's going to be cheering, but he's going to be trying to win again as well. And
yeah,
going to be able
and
to
have
some
horrible
feedback
pit
on
selection.
What the JGR Camry of Christopher Bell looks like from behind.
You asked earlier about the corner. Now, I believe, looking out the window, this is more rubber on the racetrack than we see in practice. A lot has to do with temperature. It's a reasonable warm day here in Martinsville, but it's really starting to trade color where you see cars kind of moving up in the middle of the track.
I know what I forgot to do.
Dave's been giving us updates on the 11, but let's switch teams, let's switch cars. Who are you focusing on now, Davo?
Be the 9 of Chase Elliott, 5th fastest in single lap times, 1st in 5 lap times, and 4th best in 10 lap times. Here's what he's feeling behind the wheel.
That might end up being okay, like later in the run if I had perfect track all the time. But I think I'm too tight for what is going to be realistic.
And Jeff, that's so critical, isn't it? You've got
Michael
to
says he's getting
extrapolate.
old.
Am I going to be in traffic? Well, yes, it's Martinsville.
22 from Arizona.
Is that the feel I need for being in traffic? I can't count on a lot of clean air here, right?
Well, that's exactly right, and that's the experience that we spoke about. It's so important to see for
Watch on NBC Sports app, Negative Squirrel.
To be on the same page and have the conversation before ever coming here about what it takes to win. And you and I both agree. We think it's the 2/3 mark of the corner. You've got to be able to get your car rotated just past the middle of the corner. It's got to turn. You got to be able to leave on the bottom.
We would go so far as we almost
This
would have
is practice, Red
to
Fanatic.
run 500 laps here. If your car was good at lap 100, you already knew the change you needed to make because the track would go a certain direction. And if your car was good at lap 200 or 300 or 400, you knew which direction the track was going. We had built-in adjustments that, like every 150 laps, we just knew had to be done to stay up with the racetrack.
Let's go for a quick ride here with Christopher Bell because it was quite slow coming off turn 4 on that last lap. Let's go for a ride and have a listen. 4 minutes left.
I have no clue, Bronny.
Ty Gibbs sideways off the corner, leaving marks with the. Look at this. Look at this thing. It is.
Oh, Ty Gibbs loose again.
He's had enough.
That was like dirt track style.
Ty Gibbs got loose and turned 1 and 2.
And I'm as tight as I was before in the center.
First time he came to this racetrack with this car, we never saw a car move. Like they were so gripped up. Nobody, I mean, it was like watching slot cars. We're not watching that today.
Awesome, Negative Squirrel. You'll enjoy it. We're doing Xfinity race after this. You'll love that.
That's a little bit of a temper tantrum.
Keep hitting that
I don't
subscribe,
believe
yo.
the car is anywhere near that loose all the way off the corner.
112 here with us.
That's a bad handling race car. But the one all the way up by the wall off turn 4 is totally unnecessary.
Well, the team can see it over there.
I know. That's why I said it.
That's the key.
That's why I said it.
You got to show the team on the front straightaway.
2 minutes left.
I agree with the loose at the 2/3 mark. Definitely didn't look great. But that one up by the wall, I'd be like, okay, just come on in here. Let's talk about this.
He said temper tantrums. You hear that?
John Hunter Nemechek running for his life.
Do that, Diff.
T-Vance is his job.
Crew chiefs will as well. I'll take the credit. I've thrown a few.
Oh, there you go. That's good to hear. 2 minutes left. Chase Briscoe in the Mahindra Ford for Stuart Haas. Just 2 races left for this organization.
What's up, CT Whale?
For this man, he makes a team change. He heads off to Joe Gibbs Racing to take over
Briscoe.
the 19. And Martin Truex Jr. calls time on his full-time Cup career. So a lot to look forward to, but still a lot to race for and finish this year and this period and this tenure.
Thank you so much,
Stuart
Negative
Haas
Squirrel.
on a
Appreciate it,
high.
man. You're going to enjoy it today.
I don't be surprised one bit if you see these Stuart Haas cars at the front of the race this week. They seem like these kind of racetracks have really good speed.
I'll be right back, guys. Right back.
Completely different line that he's trying. Look at this.
I like it.
Never even gets to the bottom of the racetrack.
Wonder if it works just because he's trying to get out of the rubber all the way up to the lighter gray. You think that's his goal here, Jeff? I mean, it looks like he has a real specific location.
Yeah, and then I think that's what's changed as you rubber this racetrack up, I think you will start trying to search around and look, and this is what he's doing.
Had a good run at Bristol just a few weeks ago. No longer a playoff driver, but gave us that magical moment at Darlington earlier this year. And that's what we're going to remember about the end of his time at Stuart Haas, that's for sure. Inside the final minute here, this has been a really valuable practice session. 45 minutes punctuated by that brief stop for Denny Hamlin's crash. But some really good laps turned. Carson Hocevar has turned triple digits. So has Ryan Blaney. So has Kyle Larson with 103 laps turned. 101 for Blaney, 100 even.
Yes, practice is right.
That's a good session,
right after
boys.
that.
Yeah, these 45 minutes just must feel like
no cameras for practice or qualifying. Nope, no cameras.
It is. Is this? We still got more laps?
What do you want me to do?
5 seconds left.
Well, you'll take them, right? You'll take as many as you can get.
I love practice. I love testing.
So it's a discussion. So Jeff and I talked about this. You know, it used to be practice was important for both the team and the driver. And there's been this shift where the team definitely loves the practice. So much is now done in the computer and simulation. I actually think it's hurting the drivers for the ability to run 100 laps at a place like Martinsville. Because, you know, without a second set of tires, the team wouldn't have had you run 100 laps. There would have been no reason to.
Yep.
Now that I got everything so hot, let's go right and get ready to qualify. Now, I do agree that, you know, this is the one place you don't want to cool everything. Right, if there's any way we can keep a little temperature in those front rotors, like I wouldn't be putting fans on them. I would actually, I know that sounds crazy, but just try to keep as much temperature in everything as I can.
So here's the negative to all these practice laps. Everybody out there at once, and then immediately, essentially going out to qualify. What in the world is this racetrack going to do? I mean, it is completely rubbered up. How would you have any idea going to make a qualifying run
Cheryl.
what was getting ready to happen? Normally, you know, there's just not that many laps. They're not all on the racetrack at the same time, and that makes a massive difference in rubber being put in the racetrack. How many are out there at the same time?
When you come to Martinsville, Virginia, there is one driver that is always spoken about. That's the driver of the 11, the 5-time winner here, Denny Hamlin. He's standing by with Dave.
Here we go.
Has walked out of his hauler now, was released from the infield care center under his own power. Walk us through the moments that led to that crash in practice, Denny.
You know, the moments that led up to it, our car was phenomenal. It was doing everything it needed to do. We had just made a change and then went back out to kind of assess the change, and thought it was kind of right where it needed to be.
And then, what happened as you're exiting turn 2 here?
I don't know. The car didn't slow down. The throttle hung on me, and apparently Chris sent me a picture, and there's a huge chunk of rubber that's in the throttle body that hung it wide open.
You went immediately into self-preservation mode. What's that like, keeping the nose out of the wall and just putting the back end in?
Yeah, I mean, I try to do everything I can to not, you know, hit head on. But at that point, I'm just trying everything I can to keep the thing spun around so then I can try to maybe get the car to slide forward instead of backwards. But obviously, this small track and whatnot, you just can't. It's hard to keep it off the wall here.
What kind of fast hands and feet did you have to do that? How'd you do that?
I mean, most of it is instinctual. It's not a lot of it is just kind of you're thinking the best way to wreck. But obviously, from my standpoint, just trying to make sure I didn't hit nose first. So did everything I could.
So just to go back a little bit, we're saying your team pores over this car, make sure everything is right. Everything was right, and Chris now says it was probably the rubber buildup that comes off the tires, which it's supposed to do to give you guys a better tire, that probably got into the throttle body?
Yeah, just we drew the unlucky straw, and it's been a story for 20 years, and so it's so disappointing considering the preparation the team puts into bringing me a fast car, and I hate this for the team that's now got to work all hours of the night. It's unfair to them, but just unlucky.
Denny, you've won here 5 times, 3 times in the playoff era. You've won elimination races. Can you do it Sunday from the back?
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. I think that if the car has got the ability to maneuver like this one did, then you got a chance. The unfortunate part is, we don't get to pick a pit stall. We're probably going to be right in the middle of a terrible spot on pit road, track position is key here. The road is, got infinitely harder, but it's not impossible.
500 laps to try to get it done Sunday. Glad Denny's okay after all that, Lee.
Guy who's led more than 2,400 laps at this track.
So a piece of rubber got into the throttle and got it stuck. What's the odds of that?
To attack and possibly win tomorrow. Now, hey, he still can. Anything can happen in a race, but he's just, the whole team's on the back foot a little.
Well, let's take
Trenton, you can put him in there if you want.
The team is looking
at
do
it, buddy.
The rear bumper.
Hit that like for us, y'all. No, that's right. We should have 900 likes.
Kind of break down exactly what you're looking at.
Trying to get the 200 likes. Got 900 folks
We're going to take the rear clip off, right? So basically, this is the section that's still bolted to the car. This part has been removed. This part over here is aluminum. It's supposed to fold up on rear impact. That's exactly what happened. The question is, has it wrinkled any of these bars here? This is kind of meant to break and bend in that bend right there. Now, they can remove that rear clip as well. That would seem to be a much larger change. These are the body mounts up here. So once you start moving that rear clip, now you have to find a location for the body. It becomes more complicated. Not a hard change. You actually see this area here that's green. That's an area that was changed from years past, hoping this would fold up. Remember, these rear impacts used to be very, very, very severe. They have made some changes. I'm sure the drivers still feel them. The changes have helped. So the question is it just the bumper structure? Is it the rear clip? Is it both? And if it is the rear clip, Jeff, does Chris Gabehart and the team believe they could make these changes here at the racetrack? I don't know. This is, that's basically the fuel cell there. You see the rear suspension on the left rear.
Thank you so much.
So they're going to roll through and actually use the NASCAR
hope I said that right.
System to
if not, I do apologize.
Get an idea where
thank you for subbing.
Visually, you saw them when they first took it off. They were all running their
Robbie
hands
says Denny
down
wasn't meant to win the championship.
Part of the
Sorry.
chassis. What they're feeling for is indentions, because if it bends, it'll put a little indention or it'll push some of the steel out. So they're all touching it, feeling it, seeing if they felt any of that.
Yes, they'll start in the back.
They didn't. So now, like Steve said, now they'll go try to scan it, see where it is, and then put the body back on it. And if it all gets done correctly, then it should still be the great car that Denny Hamlin had.
So you just answered my question, because I was going to say, from a driver or from a crew chief standpoint,
isn't that crazy,
not
Brandon?
Better just to go to the backup, or the car was that good it's worth still fighting for?
Steve said it best earlier. There's a reason that Chris Gabehart wants this race car.
Do you remember the kill switch?
And there's
yes,
been a
I remember
tremendous
that.
amount of work put into this race car, and they don't want to go to a backup car. If it was easier, it's actually a lot easier to go to a backup car than what they're doing here.
Right.
But they want this race car for whatever reason, and that's what they're going to try to make happen. And if they do, then it's because they believe it's 100% right.
All right, let's hear from the crew chief. Here's Chris Gabehart.
Yep, standing by here, looking at photos, talking to the team, getting ready to work on this 11 car. Normally, Chris, back in the day, we would see the backup car pop right out and go to another one. Why not here?
Well, this is a totally different era, and truthfully, most of the clip looks fine, we think. We're going to go take a couple measurements here in just a minute. And then it would just be replacing some body panels and a bumper and getting back to it. There was a lot of good things about this car. Obviously, it fired off really fast and then was even better yet there. And unfortunately, just swallowed a big clump of rubber and got stuck in between the throttle stop and
unbelievable
the throttle lever and hung the throttle. So, it wasn't anything anybody did wrong. It's just a freak deal, and we're going to do the best we can to get this fixed, but we got to get some more information first.
If you get the information that you can fix this car, can it be done here at the track, or does it have to go back to the shop?
No, we'd be better off to fix it here. Time-wise, you'd have over 4 hours in transporting it alone, let alone working on it. So right now, it's looking like we would fix it here, but I still need a little more information first.
Right, thank you, Chris. You guys talked about it.
Long
These guys
night
have had
for the
such
11
a tough
crew
playoff so far. Now they're going to have to dig even deeper to make it happen for themselves tomorrow.
So what I hear there is they're going to push it back through. If I was Chris, I
Back's
would
against
really
the wall,
check
though. He's been against the wall the whole season, Bobby.
The rear roof and the rear glass, right? You know the quarter panels and the bumper.
Your favorite
you don't care
driver
about all that. All the sheet metal is very easy to replace. So if we just sit right here for a second, I would really want to know kind of the height and location of that rear glass as it's bent down. And the other thing is, if you look at the right rear suspension, this crew member's doing a great job of blocking it, and that's what I would hope as well. It bolts to that rear clip right there. So, you'll be able to tell by the location of the rear tires, both towed in, out, all of those things, whether that clip has moved or not.
This guy's right in the middle of the NBC's trying to film stuff.
I think that's really what Gabehart's looking for. You could push it through. NASCAR has the same equipment. They inspect the cars that most teams use at their shop. That
They're hiding it very well.
Settings. If we were at Kansas, this would be a backup car.
I don't know, Pappy.
There's no way you would want to make these aero changes. Martinsville, totally agree with Chris. But he was very hesitant, Jeff. He was, hey, I need more information. This is the decision I've made now. That doesn't mean in 30 minutes when we come back, there won't be unloading a backup.
The measurements are in thousandths of an inch today, not in eighths of an inch. And the ability to do that is here at the racetrack. And they'll just roll it over there, see what it measures. And
if it wasn't Denny Hamlin, they wouldn't be spending this much time.
It will be a relatively quick answer. Once they put it in there and they scan it, they'll know.
Daniel Suarez, they would have already done talked about it. It was over with. But this is big news right here.
Does it get, what do we see? What else?
What's up, Chris? Good to see you.
On the racetrack.
Sub.
Every team will be going
y'all
down
let
there
Denny live in y'all's heads for free, man.
Look,
I tell you.
There's things that are competition based.
Yeah, right.
And Joe Gibbs Racing wouldn't share that. But from a safety standpoint, if there's something that they learned from this situation,
I agree with you,
that would be something that they would share with other teams.
A month ago.
And look, that's how this garage is. No one wants to see a guy have that same thing happen. So is there something that could be done to prevent that from happening? If it is, then that could be implemented on every team,
Cody,
not just a Joe Gibbs.
Like I said, if this would have been Daniel Suarez, they would be on to something else already.
Just a freak thing, not anything that anybody did wrong, just circumstantial. Tell you what, if he comes back tomorrow and wins for a sixth time and puts himself in the championship four, it's going to make for one incredibly compelling story. Let me tell you another great story. 4 inspiring NASCAR fans who are making a difference in children's lives were announced recently by the NASCAR Foundation as finalists for the 14th annual Betty J. France Humanitarian Award.
We all know NASCAR fans are passionate about racing.
What's up, y'all? Welcome into the channel. We've been listening. Breaking news: Denny Hamlin crashed in practice. Had practice for both groups all together. One combined practice for everybody. Chunk of rubber got into the throttle and hung it open. He hit the wall. He tried to save it as best as possible. His back end went into the back of the wall and crunched it. So they got the whole entire back end off of it. They're hoping that they can keep this car here and not go to a backup car. He will not he will not qualify. So he will finish qualify last, and he will not get a pit stall selection as well. They will be told who they have. So going to be an uphill battle for this team. But if they get to keep this car, as you saw in the practice, he was third fastest, even though he ran half the laps like everybody else. So thank you guys for the 200 likes. We appreciate you. Thanks so much for hitting that like button. Hope you're having fun today. The race practice and qualifying is on NBC Sports app, so you're not able to watch it. We're going to bring you the best content right here on our channel, so stick with us. We'll have the live leaderboard here and the audio from the NBC Sports app. So hit the like, and then later on this afternoon at 2:30 Central, we'll go live for our pre-show for the Xfinity race today at the National Debt Relief 250. We'll be bringing you flag-to-flag coverage of the cams, the MRN radio, CW broadcast, everything. It will be our last Xfinity race of the year as well. So hope you guys stick with us. Hit the subscribe because we're going to bring you the best content here. And we'll have a lot more next year, I promise you, as we continue our coverage of NASCAR next year, starting in North Carolina for the Busch Clash. No, what is it? The Busch Clash, that's right. And then go to Speed Week. So hope you guys are ready to have fun with us. We'll also give you updates throughout the year and what's going on, but stick with us too. We also have lots of other stuff coming up on our channel. We got basketball coming up. We're about to go on a cruise, so you'll have some cruise vlogs, and then we'll see what else you got. Some hockey, NHL hockey. So our off season is starting to happen here on our channel, and we're gonna get back to baseball as we do at NASCAR next year during the spring and summer months into the winter. So thank you guys for all the support this year. We started this season with 8,000 subscribers, as you see below. We are now at 27,469. Thank you, Cody, for subscribing. We appreciate you. We've brought you every practice and qualifying for the NASCAR Cup Series that they've had, except 3. So here's Martin Truex Jr., one of the fastest in practice, his last time at Martinsville.
I think it's pretty fast. Auto owners can't race quick. Need to work on that long run a little bit more. You know, this place is so tricky, and it's all about that balance of, short run, long run.
30K, that's our goal.
Right there, short run was really fast, and then I kind of paid the price after like 25 or 30. So got to work on it some more, but the guys brought a fast piece and should be good for qualifying day, that's for sure.
How sharp was the fall off then at that 20 to 25 lap mark?
It was somewhat drastic, but I think for us it was more of a balance issue than just the tires completely going away. So we need to figure out how to get a little more long run without hurting the short run, and that's what makes this place so tough, and these cars especially. They're just so temperamental. So we've got some of the pieces in place to have a good day. Hopefully we can find a little bit more and have a good day tomorrow, have some fun.
In this car for qualifying coming up and what you know about the tire now, having felt it here, what should we expect?
What's up, Jamie? Good to see you.
I feel good about our car. I think we'll be in good shape. It's going to be, it should be a decent chunk quicker. It always gets faster when the rubber gets picked up. So, we'll see. Should be fun.
Denny did not have a good practice. I just explained to you what we understand was the issue there. And yeah, it's a head shaker. It's a head scratcher, right? What does that do for you then? Because everyone in the garage will know this. Your cars are all the same, basically. How do you even prepare for, now you know that, right?
You race with both fingers crossed and hope and pray it doesn't happen to you. At the end of the day, that's terrible luck and some crazy circumstances coming together to make it happen. So hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone else. Obviously hate it for those guys. When your whole season's on the line and you have to battle some things like that you can't control, it hurts worse than anything. So feeling for those guys and hopefully
all or nothing. That's right, Pastel.
Right, thank you. Have a good qualifying lap.
There was one word that Martin used several times with Dave Burns: fun. Let's go out and have some fun. I got 2 to go. 2 races left. Let's continue this. See if we can. And in the top 10, just on the speed chart, 3 playoff drivers there in Hamlin, Bell, and Elliott, all grouped together.
How about Corey LaJoie right there in second? Ran a fast lap towards the end of practice, running the 51 car, only a few weeks into that driver ownership union there. You mentioned Todd Gilliland, Jeff, you're down there in 8th, Austin Dillon, Suarez. So, variety of names, good mix at the front.
Wade, what's up, man? Your boy Bell.
Interview with Dave and Martin is Martin talking about long run speed. And your car, he needs to make his car better on long run speed. That's what we were hoping to see with this
11 cars going through tech now.
That would be a conversation, because if long run speed becomes an issue, that means that some cars can drive better and some drivers can deal with issues on old tires that others can't. And that is what we want to see here at Martinsville. That's when we've had our best racing. So
I went Custer for my
new tires doing some things that
dark
we were
horse,
hoping to see.
I can't remember who I
Still
picked.
a lot of time left to determine how it works out, but so far a good start.
I can't remember. Who did I pick, y'all? I don't remember.
Full focus on the 11. Denny's there. Coach Gibbs is there. Chris Gabart,
$2 super chat.
Crew,
Team Penske will
everybody
put
just hoping that this car
in
is
victory
going
lane
to be raceable
tomorrow.
This is the
Thank
one
you for that $2 super chat, Jamie.
They
Everybody
want it
tell
so
Jamie
that they can
thank
feature
you. Thank
in
you,
Martinsville,
Jamie.
like Denny has 5 times before. It's all to play for tomorrow.
Let's go, Byron, he says. All right, so my final 4 before all the stuff happened with Logano winning, I had Christopher Bell, Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, and Byron in the final 4. So now it's Denny Hamlin. No, it's Christopher. No, Joey Logano, Tyler Reddick. Who are going to have the 2 spots in this thing? Let me see who you got in these 2 spots. You're welcome, Griswold. Who do you have in these 2 spots here? Who you got? Let's go. Willie B says, how's your fruit punch? It's pretty good. Pretty good. Willie B, Bell and Blaney, Byron. Who else? Who else you guys got here? As Denny and Blaney. Pop says Bell and Larson. Chris says Willie B for Adam, Bell and Larson for JMS, Byron and Bell for Mo, Larson and Bell for Sydney, Bell and Hamlin for Raymond. Denny, I don't think will make it. And make fun of me all you want, chat. Denny and Bell. There you go, Mass Pastel. And Larson and Bell. Speaking of, here's your man, Willie B.
Team did a great job coming here. Got an awesome car. And, feel really good about race trim. Just a couple small little things to tweak on going into qualifying. And yeah, like I said, it's just we've done this our whole life. So just trying to go out there and lay 2 good laps down.
No hindrance.
10-lap averages weren't bad either. What do you think about it in race trim?
Yeah, we started with a mock run, so it was a little bit offset. You know, track had a lot of pace in it early, and then our second run on tires was really, really good. So just excited for the rest of the weekend, but got to, like I said, go out here and get temperature and everything and have a good couple laps.
And what has your week been like? With all the obligations you have, there's a lot to do this weekend to make next weekend really count.
For sure. Jamie. Yeah, we've had a great week, so excited to be here, excited for this opportunity, and feel like this is what you want every year. So looking forward to Sunday.
All right, thanks, William.
Yeah, pretty interesting comments there, by William Byron. He said they started the day making
a Byron, a lot of Larson.
Meaning,
man, look at this car. That's crazy looking.
Qualifying type of run. Well, that wasn't their fastest lap. Their fastest lap was on lap 15. And so that tells you the challenge of trying to make a qualifying lap here at Martinsville. On top of that, you add all the rubber buildup on this racetrack, and I think the unknowns going into this qualifying session are as big as they've been all year
Chase is going to win the pole, no doubt.
And with as much on the line for the playoff drivers, it will be very interesting to see how this works out.
I do feel bad for the first few cars out, though, Diff. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump in front of you there, but with the rubber down on the racetrack, I think it'll actually get picked up as qualifying goes. I think the track will gain grip. I think the last 10 cars are going to have a way better racetrack than the start of practice.
Agree.
Well, this is the track at the beginning of the 45-minute practice, and have a look at this time lapse, and just watch the.
Not that much.
Not sure if we're going to see any more. Oh, that was it. That was just the flash there, just to show you. So up to current status. Corey LaJoy, by the way, is the first one out.
And that differential speed that Steve talked about potentially happened. That's why they split it in 2 groups. That's
another
the whole
$2 super chat from Tracy.
So you're only comparing yourself to your group.
Appreciate
so
everybody. Tell Tracy thank you
by going out early. Still potentially a big disadvantage, or maybe an advantage. I don't know that it will be.
Even the safety trucks pick up the tire rubber when it goes out there, and that's so. The challenge is now you're going out on brand new tires. You're trying to get heat into the tires, trying to get your air pressure right, trying to clean your tires. Just a lot goes into this. And now we're at a place, Jeff, where qualifying is going to be split by, hundreds, if not thousands of a second.
See what our director did just then? Went from safety truck number 1 to the driver of the number 1. That was a little bit of art there from Sean Owens.
Chastain, watermelon.
Well, look, we showed you the points just a moment ago, and you can take your pick of your favorite driver, or if your favorite driver is not in contention, to go to the championship for, Christopher Bell trying to make it for the 3rd year in a row. William Byron trying to make it for the 2nd year in a row. Kyle Larson wants a shot at becoming a 2-time champion. Denny Hamlin wants a shot at being a champion.
Get there.
Chase Elliott would like to be a 2-timer, and so too would Ryan Blaney. Dave?
He would indeed like to repeat as champion.
Ryan Blaney, you see those 12s in the chat.
What'd you have in practice?
Yeah, I felt pretty decent in practice. Maybe not. I've been able to put up a super fast lap time like some other guys, but I felt like once we got a handful of laps on them, I kind of evened out, and then after that, I felt pretty good. So I was fairly happy with the balance of our car. I felt like the track took a lot of rubber, so that was good.
I haven't heard
with
that,
the tire,
Jamie.
it seemed like everyone kind of moved around, and the second lane was there, 2nd and a half lane, and my car felt pretty good in all of them. So it'll just be a testament of like how well can you adjust through the race tomorrow. The track's going to change throughout a run and all day, and how do you stay on top of it. But appreciate the 12 group, Discount Tire, Ford, pretty fast right now. So hopefully we can lay down a decent lap and then go to work tomorrow.
Thanks. A lot of moving parts between driver, crew, car,
like
track,
trying to get to 300 likes. And here's Corey LaJoy, 2nd fastest in practice. Just starting, Jade. You're just on time.
Here we go.
I feel a little bad for Corey. This is like a little uncharted. How's it going to drive qualifying on all the rubber? Let's see how the driver of the 51 pulls it off.
He was trying his best to get some heat into the tires as soon as leaving pit road.
Everybody on pit road's watching this lap, wondering what the track has in it. That looked pretty good.
About to find out. First lap down, 20.15.
little bit up the track. I would imagine he wants to be a little bit tighter
Who's
around
my
the
picks?
curve.
Christopher Bell, Blaney, Chase.
Brings the Rick Ware forward out of turn 4.
I think that's a good lap right there.
And Corey LaJoie.
There we go. Slight improvement by 0.04 of a second.
He ran a 1993 in practice.
I mean, everybody has the right to dislike
go
someone.
faster.
I'm not as
Some are more than the others.
We're gonna find out. His
That's
car
what
looked like
NASCAR's
that
all
grip.
about,
It wasn't
though.
sliding around. It was gripped up in the
That's what
racetrack.
NASCAR's
So
all about.
Watching the car, I thought the track was okay.
For your favorite
The
driver
same debate
and
Jeff
boo
and I
for
have.
your
There's
one you
100
don't
of those
like.
happening up here right now. Hey, was that a good
That's
lap?
how
I
it
don't know.
is.
I think it was. I think it wasn't.
No one knows, that's for
Here's
sure.
Justin Haley.
Justin Haley's
Goes
about to show
7th.
us what it is. The two guys who did the mid-season or late-season seat swap are the first two on track.
Chasing Bell,
What I like
Adam
about
says.
what I see is both of them are able to lock it right on the bottom of the racetrack. And so
Corey
and you
LaSpin.
see the speed, Haley much faster, but both cars look like they have good grip.
How about that?
Justin Haley says, hey, I can go faster than you in your
He's
old
gonna go
car.
better lap 2, I believe. Missed it off of 2. Went to the throttle a little bit too quickly.
Oh, and gave it up on entry. Big wiggle on corner entry. Not going to work this time.
Nope.
Haley to the line. And
Actually, really loose.
All right, there you go. Loose
Loose
You
for
saw
LaJoie-
even that
for
corner
Haley.
Right there rolling through slow, Jeff. He's leaving tire tracks by picking up the rubber. Right, it's like reverse. It's crazy looking.
Keep on hitting that subscribe as well. We're trying to get to 27,500.
let's get our next car
We
out on track.
are
It's John
24
Hunter.
away from 27,500. Hit that like button as well. Trying to get to 300 likes.
In the green early on.
Was able to carry really good speed on corner entry. Didn't rotate the middle very well.
He's found success here, both in Xfinity and trucks.
Just can't roll the middle like he needs to.
20.069. So right in between Corey LaJoie and Justin Haley for lap 1.
These guys are loose coming out of these turns, man.
Surprising.
Loose. Just 0.02 of a second different on lap 2.
How do they do the timing? Do they have some old timer press a button on a timer? It's all digital, man. I'm sure it's all digital. It's all built into the car.
Everybody's listening, right? You really don't want them to give any information.
It's all tracked.
Here's Zane Smith. Second Spire Chevrolet that we've seen in this qualifying session on track.
At 30K, yes, we'll definitely. Maybe 3 cakes for 30K.
Green into the corner.
3 cakes for 30K if we get there.
Speed in. Will it stick? It won't. Up the track. I think it just needs to back down the entries a little bit.
That's right. Hit that like, y'all. 900 in here. Hit that like for us, y'all.
So 4th in the order of 4. Let's see what the second lap can do.
There's nothing comfortable about the back of this car.
10th of a second off.
He's on. Yeah, he's lead dipping. Yeah, they did bring a softer tire on the one side,
Yep,
only the right side, I believe.
4th place behind Corey LaJoie.
So hard to qualify here. It has always been difficult. The car drives so different during these laps than it does the other part. Steve talked about Zane on corner entry. Look at that. It's already moving around.
A lot of conversation about Austin Dillon's win at Richmond and the wrecks it took to get there, but what was lost in some of that is just how great the car was all night long that night. He had the absolute best car. You wonder if that short track package or something would carry over here with the softer tires, and you look right here, just an absolute huge lap for Austin Dillon.
And as the crow flies, it's the first sub-20-second lap in qualifying that we've seen.
Austin
as the crow
Dillon,
flies, we're not too
P1.
far from Welcome, North Carolina, from the headquarters of Richard Childress Racing.
Oh, that was on it right there.
19.770.
Austin's not listening or hearing that.
So another sub-20-second lap, but it was his first one that will put him on top. 19.770, the fastest time of qualifying so far.
Will there be a 18 or a 17? That's the question.
It was a 1971.
What's up, Ricky?
Spring.
Good to see you, bud. You're pulling for Blaney if he can't win. I hope Hamlin wins.
You would imagine imagine.
Well, he's on an up-wheel battle. If you don't know, he crashed in practice, so he's not going to get to qualify. Here's the Watermelon Man.
Steve, that we'll see the track swing like with rubber buildup quickly. So if you went after Austin Dillon, you have to assume the track is really good. You see right here.
Chastain.
Good pace from the one car so far.
Ross Chastain in the green to, wow, a massive margin. Massive advantage. Watch this lap from Ross Chastain, although it wasn't quite good enough to leapfrog
19.8
just yet.
He is cooked, BD. You're right.
Second place so far.
I bet that 1 and 2. He was sideways, bouncing it off the curb. He's had enough.
That'll do me, he says. So a 19.825.
Actually, a smart move. You know, you may
love
have to put
watermelon,
this set of
Chad
tires
said.
on tomorrow. You know your lap is slower. No sense in running them and putting more wear on them.
And that's just, you know, you drive to a point, you get off the brakes, and you know the car's going to turn, and it just turns a little bit more than you want. It gets up on the curb.
Ricky.
He's Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
I like that little corner he just made right there.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to have one too, George.
Down through the middle.
I've been there, but I never had one. Maybe I didn't know it.
Clock is on. Already a 10th of ahead of 5th place Corey LaJoy.
Oh, a little early to the curb in that corner.
Jumps into P4 at the moment.
Hi, buddy. Dillon to the top of the board.
Still in the green.
You like that 7 wrap?
His qualifying
nice.
run.
Ricky, 4th.
Qualified brilliantly last week at Homestead Miami Speedway, and Ricky Stenhouse is in 3rd for the time being.
So he went a little quicker his second lap.
Harrison has an Xfinity Series win back here in 2020. Brings it back to his late model days, I'm sure, running around this place. Although this is anything but a late model he's driving.
Positive start so far for the Wood Brothers Ford.
Very tight, right around the curb. Very little arc or diamond. He just runs right around the curb. Look at this lap. It's going to be a really good lap.
Going to put himself solidly in the top 5
There's
here.
some Burton.
How about to the top for Harrison Burton?
Wow, a
19.739.
19.7.
Had really good pace on the long run. In practice, I thought, watching him with some other guys, as his teammate Blaney did.
And I think there's more in it right here. If he could just somehow get around the corner. Nope, just a little tight, it looked like in the middle. Had a little diamond to it. But I think you have to be, right? You know you've run a 73. He knows how hard he drove that. Well, try to drive it a little harder. I think the front just didn't work like he wanted it in the middle, trying to run something in the 60s. That 73 would have been just 200ths off the pole. We'll see if it'll hold up inside the top 5 with, what do we got, maybe 10 or 12 cars?
Jeff, your little boy has done
Next
it.
up, Austin Cindric, one Ford to another from Harrison Burton to Cindric. Here
That
we
was
go.
a great
the
call,
Menards
though.
Ford for Team Penske. Clock's
Your boy's
on.
got
Jeff,
the
you ever
pole,
think you'd
Jeff.
see shifting at Martinsville? I know these guys now, it's like every day. I don't even think they think about it. But it's still...
The softer
this doesn't seem
tire,
natural
Chad,
when I watch it.
on the right side. That's what I've learned.
In the green. Let's see how good this is for Austin Cindric. Jumps his way to 4th.
Denny who?
We have seen a driver, I think was it Stenhouse who improved on the second lap. We'll see what Austin can do here.
Yeah, Stenhouse did run better lap 2.
Sorry,
No.
he was.
Yeah,
Keeping that like trying to get the 300 likes.
You know, from up here, I mean, I've been in those cars, and I know how sideways that is.
Bad Brad.
So Ricky Stenhouse is on the bubble at the moment in that 5th place. Next up, Brad Keselowski. We've got a run of Fords at the moment. Here's the RFK Ford.
Very interested to see
I know, Regine.
this team, the 6 car, did a really
But
good
Haas
job.
will be back
as
next
well
year.
As all of RFK. Really interested to see what
41 will be back.
You know, as they continue to rebuild this program, what another off season can do for this company.
We're talking about rebuilding the program. This is a track they need to do it at, right? This is a driver that has 2 wins here, but he's not been in the top 15 the last 5 races. So most of the next-gen era just hasn't worked for Brad K here at Martinsville.
That was good enough for third. That bounces Ricky Stenhouse out of the top 5.
Desert Fox and Pop going back and forth again.
I'm surprised we haven't. That's the first one we've seen.
Yeah.
Normally we have a lot of left front lockup here.
Yep.
So red all the way to the line on that second lap, but Brad sits in third at the moment.
I can't show the qualifying, Ryan.
Watch the left front
Can't
tire.
show broadcasts.
This is not uncommon at all at this racetrack. Just the left front tire is so light, doesn't have a lot of weight on it getting in the corner, and it's easy to get it locked up and drag it.
I was kind of laughing at the tire marks on the left rear quarter panel to say, it was a busy practice for Brad. I didn't see where that came
Here's Mr. Busher.
Is Keselowski's teammate, Chris Buescher, in the Build Submarines Ford.
That's a perfect example of just wait. He had to wait, what, 15 extra feet for the front. Just listen.
Look at his hands.
Yeah, just the front. I'm talking 10 feet, 15, 20 feet. It just has to roll.
Yeah, watch his hands. Watch when he gets in the middle of the corner. Big pull on the wheel, trying to get it to rotate. Just does not turn the way he needs it to.
Unable to punch through into the top 5.
It's a steady car. It's a car that's easy to drive, but it's slow because it's just not rotating.
Did leapfrog, was a better second lap. Leapfrogged his way to 6th, but unable to be above that top 5 cut line.
Easy to drive. Those are the cars I'm looking for, Diff. I'm okay if it's slow. I want easy to drive. Diff, you didn't get the pace car ride. We were ready to take you around here.
That was yesterday, right?
I know.
Sorry, I missed it. Hey, I am enjoying my first visit to Martinsville, though. I'm going to have a hot dog later this afternoon.
y'all.
For sure.
Hey?
Dalton, it's on
What kind of toppings are you going to go for?
NBC Sports app.
Onions?
As we watch Ryan Priest, I did
Ryan Priest could be going to the
60
60 next year.
Hours. I got 6,600 votes, and it was a resounding 94% to that I had to have one, but not one, not just one. Here goes Ryan Priest to the top. Pushes Harrison Burton off that with a 19.706. Great lap.
Stuart Haas making a move.
About that magical day here at Martinsville. He sat on the pole, had a great car early.
Nope, it's on the NBC Sports app.
Never able to get back up through traffic. That's one of those, Jeff, you and I both have a list of races we'd love to do over. I think that's the one that Priest wishes that he could have another shot. Maybe this is his weekend.
Like I said in practice, it doesn't surprise me one bit to see an SHR car qualify well, and they will race well tomorrow.
3 Fords in the top 5 as well.
Make a note, you can speed out of pit stall 1. We've tested it a few times. It is possible.
Here comes another Trackhouse. Let's see what he can do.
Is Daniel Suarez for Trackhouse Racing. First Trackhouse car we've seen.
How about a shout-out, Mark? What time does the race start for the Xfinity? At 2:30 Central.
A lot of speed
is
into
pre-race
the corner,
show for
but
us.
just couldn't get it to turn. Sometimes the car will handle better the second lap.
Somewhere.
As it gets heat in it.
Pardon me, we did see Ross Chastain earlier, didn't we? So he's pushed Ross out of the top 5.
Suarez with an adjustment to how he drove the second lap. Didn't carry quite as much speed into the corner. Tried to make it work. Just
I haven't heard anything, Pesto.
What he needed.
I think it's going to be
Ford. What his teammate did earlier. Got out of that second lap as he comes cruising back in. So it's Suarez with that 5th position.
Suarez knocks out his teammate.
Briscoe, Logano, Elliott, Blaney, and Bell to come.
Briscoe, teammate Ryan Priest, so
Briscoe.
far fastest. That's got to feel good.
And then we'll get into the playoff drivers.
Oh, the old high, wide entry to come to the green.
Super impressed with how these cars take off with grip. Look at this lap. Got to beat a 70.
Ooh. Rev chip.
I know, we need more likes, y'all.
Ford was locked
we got
out
1,000 people in here. Let's go.
In qualifying.
Let's get to 500 likes.
Well represented here.
500 likes. Let's do it.
Straight to the top. 19.701, just 5 thousandths of a second quicker, and he gets the message. That'll do it.
With 4 left, he knows that will be in the top 5. Save a set of tires if these, or excuse me, a lap on the tires, as soft as they are. Remember, the top 5 run again.
Maybe Smitty, they haven't said much, but maybe just saving some tires.
Right away, you heard Richard Boswell. That'll do it. Bring it to me.
And look at the time separation. 1/10 of a second from 1st to 5th.
Yeah.
Here's Logano. That white hood looks weird.
More, I think, with these next 4 cars.
Oh, yeah.
5 thousandths of a second between first and second. Here's Joey Logano.
Here comes the heat.
You see those
Playoff
22.
drivers, you know there's a lot of speed coming.
Almost an all-star race for the 22. No playoff points to be gained. They won't carry over to next week. He's already in the championship 4. Just enjoy a little short track racing.
Short track racing.
Logano jumps into the top 5. Going to tell you a story tomorrow about what Joey
Logano.
and Team Penske's partners and the Joey Logano Foundation is doing for hurricane relief in
right now.
North Carolina. It's a fabulous story and a terrific initiative. We'll tell you more about that during the race tomorrow. Here we go. Logano to the line. First lap was a 19.799, and he improves marginally, just by a couple of thousandths of a second, to confirm his 5th spot. All right.
Here's Chase. Let me see those
Elliott,
9.
Blaney, Bell to come. Let's continue this playoff driver's run. Here's Chase.
I thought it was I'm sorry. I was going to say I thought it was Hamlin and Chase with the 2 best cars in practice.
Need to win this race if you want a chance to win a championship. It all starts right now.
See those 9.
Good entry middle. Had to give a little back on exit. We'll see if the car will rotate a little better for him. Can he get power down to get down the hill? Oh, yeah, there you go.
Watch this. What's the clock say? 3rd quickest.
3rd.
It should be enough. I wouldn't.
You're good.
Yes, Alan, right on the radio. Alan Gustafson, just like the 14. That's enough. 2 to play. There's Alan right there. AG knows he was there for the championship. He was there for the big win.
3rd fastest for Chase.
Have been quite the formidable pair, ups and downs.
Now Ryan Blaney.
You know, Jeff, even when they were down, right?
Go Vols,
never
Chris.
did you hear them say anything about one another or their team. They were always in lockstep.
So with that lap from Chase Elliott, that bounces Joey Logano out of the top 5. There's another Team Penske Ford with a shot. It's Ryan Blaney.
And a huge entry speed into 1.
Here's Blaney.
Backed it off on that corner. Trying to get more on corner exit.
It's close. It's really close.
Logano ran faster on his 2nd lap.
Blaney trying the 2nd lap here.
That was only good enough for 9th for Ryan so far. It's going to the green. It's dancing with the green.
Nope.
He just needs it to change direction a little better for him.
And he's 7th
Blaney's
fastest.
able to leapfrog a couple of positions, but 7th. So there's not going to be a 2nd appearance in qualifying.
Ryan's had
for
bad luck
Ryan
these
Blaney.
last couple weeks.
And
That's
with
right,
Bell,
Chad. He was there for the win last week.
Plus 29.
Couldn't get it done.
A good qualifying
All right, here we go.
spot.
Christopher Bell.
Really
Let me see
helps
those
you score
20.
Those stage points. If you're this 20 car, you want to have 2 great stages, and it wouldn't assure that you're moving through on points, but it would take some stress off that final stage.
And they know it all begins now. Qualifying can very much set the tone of your day, especially short track racing.
That's just short track racing.
Very well off of 2. Up the racetrack a little bit. Car is not doing what he wants it to do. See if he can get better in the 2nd lap.
Still in the red.
Look at his hands. Car's tight.
Yeah, right at that 2/3
There it is, Bell. Oh, it's back in the red again.
Chase the curb like he wants it to.
Power to Chase Elliott at the moment. He's the only playoff driver in the top 5. What's this 2nd lap got for Christopher Bell?
That doesn't have it. 8th fastest. What's the deal? That's just short track racing.
2nd appearance in qualifying for Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, or Christopher Bell.
You think P8's not bad in that group, but that's going to line
know,
you up,
Sam.
16th.
Midfield.
Blaney,
But we're here for you guys.
So if you've just joined us, we're mid-qualifying. The biggest story of the day was, at the time, the fastest car in practice, driven by this man here, Denny Hamlin.
20 to go for our 27,500.
Suffered this. Stuck throttle.
Bumblebee.
Due to a piece of rubber that affected the throttle. This is what it sounded like. It just hung up on him. Denny did a great job to salvage the situation, and the work has been going on flat out. Tell us more, Dave Burns.
And remember, Lee, the work was going to continue unless they got a couple of measurements that were so negative that they wanted to go to a backup car, but they have not. The crew continues to work on this primary car. And these teams are prepared for anything these days. In fact, their teammate's hauler, the 54 of Ty Gibbs, holds what I would call the big part cart, or the crash cart, we've called it in the past. This has everything. You can see the stuff labeled there. Everything from a simple diffuser
tail,
to the tail, the nose, the hood.
Engine pan, center floor, simple diffuser.
And this is good for any of the Toyotas on the team. So unfortunately, it's for Denny's car today. It sits in front of the 11 car. There you see the shot of it. Thanks, Tony. And they're going to pull off of there whatever they need to try to get this car ready to go back through technical inspection, past technical inspection, and be ready for racing here tomorrow. It's not an impossible task for Denny tomorrow. This car, if it's as good as it was, very, very fast. Denny here, very, very good. But he's got to come from a long way back to try to clinch his spot in the championship for tomorrow with this adversity.
I love the fact that they're able to fix it. I mean, this 11 was standard.
That's right, Raymond. You're correct.
In practice. I really thought
that's
it was.
That's going to be a long haul.
Denny's voice and Chris Gabehart when asked about it, how good that car was. And it's just a different world, right, Jeff?
What's up,
I mean, it's a module-type world. They're going to bolt some suspension pieces on
easier
it.
Group B.
Some new body work on it and go to town.
Yeah, instead of a backup in the trailer, there's a cart with all the parts and pieces needed to make this happen. That's something that prior to this car, that's not possible. The rear clip would have been destroyed on the old car. You couldn't have fixed it. You would have had to get a backup car.
Highest end kit car out there.
Is Josh Balicki.
All right, here we go. Balicki.
Ready to go. And while he attacks his qualifying run,
we want that
just
car.
Want to throw this one out
Your
there.
delayed signal
in Cup
might be a little ahead of
here
you.
At Martinsville, a winner has come from as low as 36th on the grid.
Oh, well, I'm sorry there, Bird, but that's not how we play.
Just remember
here.
that one for tomorrow for Hamlin.
Eye in the little window. Eye in the man in the little window.
For Hamlin, it is
how we play.
Battle, but the advantage for Hamlin is what we talked about in practice.
It's called an interactive chat for nothing.
Without this introduction of a different tire with fall-off speed, it would have been really, really difficult. Now, there was some track position opportunities with the other tire that he could have taken advantage of. But with a good handling race car, you can make passes. You can make passes where 2 years ago
That's right,
with this car, it was much more difficult.
I'm going to be fascinated to see how the field races him. When I was Jeff Gordon's crew chief, it shocked me that I would mess up and pit us when we weren't supposed to, or we would get behind. And when we were coming through traffic, Jeff, he'd get a run off the corner, not even really close enough to pass.
What's up, James?
And he would look left, and I'd swear drivers would look in their mirror and see that hood and be like, I'm going to give him the line because he's going to get me anyway. And you wonder when they look back and see Hamlin if they're like, you know what?
Yep,
you've had a rough weekend. Just go ahead. I'm not in this fight.
James, thank you for the $5 Patreon. I didn't know my Patreon was still on.
Right. The give and take
thank you for your
mentality is
Patreon
gone.
membership, James.
Hey, man, if they catch you, give them a spot. And then, you can take one from him later.
Bro.
Today, he'll give you a hit in the back of the car and take your position. It's just a different mentality. So I don't think anybody will give him breaks.
Josh Balicki posted a 20.296 time to chase, and that's what Kaz Gralla has done and done well. He's overtaken him by 0.2 of a second in the meat and bone Ford. Watch this.
Meat and bone, baby.
And his hands full and using all the racetrack.
There you go. Just a little squish on the wall. Down the back stretch. Here's Daniel Hemrick. Good qualifying.
I like this paint scheme on Hemrick's car.
Miami.
Nice.
Let's see what he can post here today.
Now, this entire group, I think, is going to have a different racetrack. I think the track changed for the first group, but looking at it now, it's pretty well cleaned off.
Sounds like fun, Kelly.
Yes, it is.
Kaz Gralla?
Sub 20.
There's Hemrick.
Wow, he's continuing this awesome qualifying
last week he did good too.
Straight into this week, 19.793. I mean, that's better than Joey Logano's time. That would have put him 6th in Group 1.
To Steve's point, though, you wonder if the track's not going to get a little better. Although it kind of leveled off, I thought, in that first
It should be
group.
interesting what happens in the off-season,
well done,
Raymond.
Daniel Hemrick.
Daniel Hemrick not driving this car next year. It's hard to keep everybody motivated in that situation to be able to come out and qualify like they did last week and bring the speed this week. That's a sign everybody's still working together.
Up next, Shane Van Gisbergen.
Oh, big lock up into one.
Important race for SVG. Going to run the series full time next year.
That like, hit that subscribe
Spent a little
for
bit
us.
of time with him this morning. He's so excited about 2025, being a full-time Cup driver. Jumps his way to P2, 19.895.
Colt, no politics, Colt. No politics.
It's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do next year. He just hasn't had the pace in the Xfinity Series on anywhere but the road courses needed to win. And so we've seen guys that can win races in Xfinity and come over here and not be successful. So can he step it up to the level that's needed on racetracks other than road courses? No question on road courses.
He might have had the pole if he didn't lock it up there in the turn.
Going to have a major step to have the pace at other racetracks.
I like the transition, though, just because I think the cars are so different.
Smoking everybody and wins.
Like, hey, man, let's run Xfinity. This is what the track looks like. Like, he hasn't even seen these places.
No conspiracies.
And now I'm not sure another year of Xfinity would help. I think it's time to just move to this car. Yeah, even I completely agree with Jeff. It is going to be a huge step up in competition.
He's capable. It's just, can he make the adjustment?
That's right. That's right. With a lack of track time. I mean, we talk about it. Most weeks get 15 minutes. You know, it doesn't get 3 practices.
That's right.
Multi-time winner at Martinsville, Kyle Busch on track.
You got
first lap, good enough for second.
13 to go in Group B.
19.842.
Teammate Austin Dillon made the fast 5 in the first group. Real busy
NASCAR rigged the 11 to wreck.
Just car never really got in the racetrack where he's comfortable with it.
And that time of a 19.842 up against his teammates.
Right.
19.770. So just slightly off Austin Dillon's time.
Right here, 92.74, the only place.
How strong that is in the big picture for Kyle.
Right here.
Here's Eric Jones in the Family Dollar Toyota Camry.
See, that's okay, Dave. We're not talking, you know,
Ben
politics. You're just cheering on host
car now. A new pairing for a few weeks. Looking to make some changes.
Bubbles was paid by NASCAR to plant the rubber.
Well, I think if you're the organization, you made this shift over to Toyota, and as he runs second on that first lap.
It wasn't. I think it was Truex.
They obviously want to be better. They see where the other Toyotas run in the field, but it's tough. You got to figure out how to process some of that information.
Keep on hitting that subscribe. We're 20 away.
Big catch from Eric Jones.
Eric Jones almost spun out there.
The most improved team next year will be this team. I just view them making a lot of changes. The relationship with Toyota. They'll have an off season to really gather. You see just his hands full, really gather all that data.
It was all over the place in that turn.
Come out next year. I think this will be a very good race team next year. Jimmy Johnson's committed to making it work.
Ty Gibbs gave us some pretty entertaining moments during that 45-minute practice session, particularly at the end where the car was all over the shop.
Ty Gibbs, let me see those 54s, legend in training. Where's Eric Church been?
Is here in qualifying.
How about that corner?
Yeah, interesting line, but it worked.
We're missing you, Eric Church.
Really consistent, did it again. Just a spectacular lap. Watch this. To the top for Ty Gibbs.
Ty Gibbs.
19.705. That would have put him second in Group 1.
Oh, messed up.
In between Briscoe and Priest. They're going to let him keep running. I didn't know if they were going to call him off. It's so early in qualifying, probably too hard to call him off
Maybe
right
he's
now.
on tour.
I think it's going to pay off with a better lap. Sure is. 19.675.
Knocked SVG.
2 excellent laps.
Oh, SVG down to 5. Mark, thank you for that $2 super chat, Mark.
Either group.
Everybody tell Mark thank you so much, Mark.
In a certain groove, Jeff, where he was committed to the front of that car working. If it doesn't turn down the hill from a half a groove up, it's going to really hurt. But the car did everything he wanted to do, and he drove 2 perfect laps.
Here you go, Jeremy.
Gregson in the Bed Bath & Beyond Ford for Stuart Haas.
Have a good time, Jeremy. Check in at the race for us.
In Group 1. So let's see if that trend can continue here in Group 2.
All right, G-Ray. Peace.
Whoa. A little bit free right there on corner entry.
Yeah, he hadn't won a race yet. He's still in training. Lee.
One little slide. You give up all that hard
Gregson.
work. 5th so far for Gregson.
This guy is just not there.
Gonna knock SVG out of the top 5.
Rear grip is not what he needs.
And sometimes, Jeff, this sounds crazy, but that one little slide that's it. It heats the rear tires up, and they just, in the race, 3 laps later, they come in, you start going again. But in qualifying, you only have 1 more lap.
Watch this.
Yeah, and so now
got loose in the turn.
You know, Noah is fastest right now, but it's gonna be a long day because there's a lot of cars that are gonna run quicker than that.
Here's Todd Gilliland.
Here's Todd Gilliland. Where's my Todd Gilliland fan out here? I know there was one. I think it's 1 o'clock, so 12:30 tomorrow we'll be on. 12:30. Let me double check.
Good exit speed.
From Group 1 to know that there's 3 Fords in the top 5, that'll be a little positive juice. We'll see what he can do here on lap 1. He's in the green. That's the 5th place comparison and jumps his way to P2. Nice lap.
That couldn't be a more different line and approach than the track or the car we were comparing it to. Todd, a very traditional Martinsville line right around the curbing.
19.779.
Coach Silo working hard to entertain us day in and day out.
Puts the 38
much appreciated.
P2 for the time being.
$19.99. Everybody tell Coach thank you for the super chat. Coach,
pretty surprising.
I know you can't hear me, but I'm giving you the thumbs up.
The final 5, so let's see if his teammate Truex can.
The Todd father.
He was the quick man from practice.
P2. Here's Truex.
In a pretty good mood. Had a jovial chat with Dave Burns post-practice. So let's see if this momentum and speed continues for the 19.
Pretty fast so far.
Oh, yeah.
Somewhere in South Georgia, Mark.
In such a good mood.
Might have to try some of that.
He's going to be in a better one.
Yeah, you can shut her down.
19.584. James Small says, shut it off.
Truex P1. Go Denny all in, $1.99. Pops. You're awesome, Pop. Thank you, buddy. And tell Pop.
You can go
Thank you so much as well.
Shut it off. There's water coming out of it. That's never good.
Truex, let me see those 19s if you're for Martin Truex Jr.
It's been a testing season for the team on the 19 side of the shop at JGR.
Thank you so much.
That's a nice little bit of sweetener.
Here's Michael McDowell, Front Row Motorsports
of the year. Celebrating his 500th Cup Series start this weekend, Michael McDowell.
Right, tell Pop thank you.
He is a very talented race car driver.
Oh, Josh,
really good person.
Man, I wish you were here earlier this year. You're going to have a good rest of the time here this weekend at least, and tomorrow.
And what I like about Michael is his commitment to trying to make this sport better. Not just for him, but he really is.
We got, that's at 2:30.
You know, a lot of young drivers in this sport. How do they have the best opportunity? Really like his attitude, contact, full commitment.
Woo. That was plenty of commitment.
Michael
there
McDowell,
P5. His way into 5th place. So for now, joins his teammate in the top 5.
Right here, Thomas. It's on NBC Sports app if you can't.
Oof.
Pretty flush hit right there.
You know.
Let me see my Bubbles fans. Bubba.
Is the first of 2 2311 Toyotas to come in this passage of Group 2. The final driver will be Bubba Wallace's teammate Tyler Reddick. He'll be the last to run in Group 2.
Did not leave the corner at all very well.
19 forever.
No, this
Speedway
is a track
anywhere.
He knows how to run as well. It's good history here. Not the first lap they were looking for.
6th place for Wallace.
A Wallace fan. I'll be here tomorrow. Awesome, Alex.
Better second lap. Claw his way into that top 5.
Keep hitting that like. Try to get to 400 likes. 1,300 of us here. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe, yo.
It was in the green. The time went away from Bubba. And he's going to stay in 6th place.
That also looked like a car that needed the front tires to be a little more positive, right? He just drives in, and all the driver can do is carry the appropriate amount of speed, and the car has to turn itself. And you've pointed out a couple times, you get the wheel turn left, and until the front tires
Brown dropping those 23.
Track.
Here's Josh Berry. He's got 2 races left, and he's going to the 21.
That he can't turn.
Well, yeah.
There's that.
Let's see what Josh Berry can do.
When Martin Truex runs a 58, then it's available. It's out there. You have to
Berry.
You're going to have to chase that speed. Well, that was a really nice corner right there.
comparison to Michael McDowell, and he's going to push McDowell out. It certainly is. Josh Berry goes to P3.
Wow.
Oh, I like that corner as well. I think if he can match his speed down here, there's a chance to improve on his lap.
SVG. And that's it. Just SVG.
Oh, you heard him get out of the throttle in contact with the wall. He tried to carry speed on exit, and he's like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Had to come out of the gas.
My GOAT, P3. That's right,
good to race tomorrow.
Watch this. Second lap.
That was a pretty flush hit as well, both right sides.
Bounces off the front stretch wall just like Michael McDowell did and sits P3.
Good luck, Alex Bowman. Show him in the Bowman.
And then the playoff drivers Larson, Byron, Hamlin, and Reddick to come. Here we go. Here's Carson.
Carson
Here's
his teammates. Both his teammates were in
see
the
those
first round,
77s.
15th and 18th of the 18 cars. So far, better for the 77.
How about the run this guy had last weekend, taking that alternative line through turns 1 and 2 and mixing it up with the big names at the front? He loved it. He
I think I
had a
have
blast.
most of our redeem. I don't know.
No longer a surprise.
Yeah, that's a great
See
point.
him do that, you know.
Thank you, Mark, for subscribing. Mark, appreciate you, buddy.
Frequently.
19 to
That
go
lap
from
was
27.5.
For the Premier Security Chevy for Spire Motorsports.
Also, what's up, Pop?
Is there any improvement? No, there's not.
Yeah, he's in the top 5 in Group A. He made the second round.
3 cars, just not what they're looking for.
Mark with a K.
That doesn't mean they can't race well.
That's right.
This is one of those racetracks that, you know, it's not. Your car can
He did not
drive
qualify in the
terrible
top 5. He
for these
qualified
2
like 6 or
laps.
7.
Great in the race.
There's Showman the Bowman. Bowman the Showman.
Last driver before we get into the active playoff drivers. This is this is Alex Bowman.
Thanks for subbing. Appreciate it.
Would like to have 3 and 4 over.
Justin, thanks for subbing.
Really good in 1 and 2.
Puts it in the top 5 for now. 3rd spot. That eliminates Daniel Hemrick.
Looked like a little uncomfortable in, maybe? Just a little loose in, Jeff?
Larson next after
It's
Bowman
so
here.
hard to get around this racetrack.
Blaney didn't make the top 5 in Group A.
Look at the interest and attention being paid by Chase Elliott. He's the only playoff driver to make it into the top 5 in Group 1. So check that box. Weekend off to a good start. Now here we go. Here's his Hendrick Motorsports teammate, Kyle Larson.
Both of the showman. Here is Larson.
In the green. What's this first lap say? 4th.
Have to run a second one. Don't know it can go faster, but you have to try.
Doesn't have to face a challenge from Denny Hamlin. His car's being repaired back in the garage area. But he does have his teammate William Byron and Tyler Reddick still to come.
4th.
No improvement on lap 2, so 4th place for Larson for now.
Got Willie B and Tyler Reddick. Denny is not qualifying. Larson.
And he's going to find out pretty swiftly whether that's good enough to survive and have a second round of qualifying. Here's William Byron.
Won this race in the spring. Knows what it takes.
Man, that car looks good. Secure and the front end working through the middle of the corner.
And the clock says so too, Stevie.
Willie B.
For Byron.
Quit.
That message is pretty clear.
Well, Jeff has said it a bunch of times about being
P2.
locked into the racetrack. So first thing you want to do is be locked into the racetrack. Then you need the car to change direction. This 24, much like the 19, just looked like it did both. It had the security in the back to be able to drive in, but then when you roll off the brakes, the front tires pointed back to the curb and switched directions.
So we'll see William Byron again. And here is last weekend's winner. The man who races for a championship next weekend in Phoenix. This is Tyler Reddick.
He went out to lunch. Last week's winner here, Tyler Reddick.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh, he almost got in the green.
That happened at the worst possible place. Because now this lap is slow too.
And that was a gift to Kyle Larson. That was a huge gift to Kyle Larson. Because he was sitting on that
he crashed, Hunter.
Final position.
Nope. So Larson's in P5.
And Reddick manages 16th, and that's why he's shaking his head.
So Truex, Byron, Gibbs.
So watch the back of the car.
Bowman.
Right there.
Yep, slid out of the
and
turn
now
4.
He's lost all the momentum he needs on corner exit. Watch this in his hand. Watch his hands. And look how slow it is. So there's no way you can run a good second lap.
Externally, looked a lot less sinister
Even
than what it did
top
internally.
guys mess up.
And you saw how busy Tyler Reddick was.
Still picking Hamlin to
behind
win.
the wheel. So 2 playoff drivers from Group 2 make it. Just 1 playoff driver from Group 1 made it. That's Chase Elliott.
And Chase, I believe you only took that 1 lap, right, in your first round. And we were watching Tyler having to wrestle with the race car. How critical was it to get that 1 lap and have better tires for round 2?
I have to imagine it's not a bad thing for sure. I would be disappointed if we had 2, if it were me going into the next round for sure. So I would have to imagine it's going to help. But I've seen crazier things, I've seen crazier things doing this.
Yeah,
so
true.
We'll see, but yeah, it was a good lap for our Napa Chevy. Nice to be able to do it in 1. It didn't feel great, so I feel like we have some room to make it better. So hopefully we can hit on it just right here and lay a good one down.
So you asked Alan and the crew for a little bit more than just the usual Group 2, round 2 adjustment?
Yeah, I just felt like we could make it better, So, not that it was terrible, but I do think we can make it better, and I think I could hit my lap better too. So we'll try to hit it all as perfect as we can and get a good starting spot for tomorrow. So we'll see.
In the top 10 for sure. Let's look forward to the race. You're one of the 4 that it starts below the line there. So what was practice like, and what's your vibe been for yourself here so far this weekend?
Oh yeah, the vibe's been great. We, I feel like just our team as a whole has been in a really good spot. The last couple weeks we've gone to great timing. We've gone to a couple racetracks that, truthfully have been a big struggle for us. And, to have the type of pace we had the last couple weeks, I just felt that we've been doing a really good job, and I'm proud of that. So we just got to put it all together tomorrow, and that starts right here, right now.
Thanks, Jason. Steve, how about that? You want to be able to fix the places that have bugged you, right? And it sounds like, from Chase's words, they've been able to do that with this 9 team.
Yeah, I think that's what you want.
All right.
You're exactly right.
So let's pick our pole setter here. Qualifying here between Dylan, Larson, Elliott, Briscoe, Truex, Burton, Byron, Priest, Bowman, Gibbs. Who are you taking on your pole? I think Chase is going to get it. I think Chase is going to get the pole. I don't know. Who you got? Maybe Truex or Chase. Becky with the MVP. Thank you, Becky. We appreciate you. We're going to do a lot more MVP stuff here very soon. I promise you that, guys, as you guys deserve some live streams by yourselves. Who you got? Chase, Tyler, Larson, Byron, Gibbs, Truex all the way. 14 in the K. Hit that like for us. We're trying to get to 500 likes or 400 likes at least. I agree. Chase is long overdue. Pop says Larson looking good. Steven says, is Chase finally showing personality? He must be locked in. Yeah. He did decline Netflix to record him during they're doing the NASCAR Netflix during the playoffs thing. He declined it. Byron, Martin Truex Jr., Chase Elliott. B. Reed says. Brian says Larson P1. Desert Fox says Larson. Hope the 9 doesn't get it. Negative Squirrel says, of course, Chase Elliott. Bill says, it'll be a beautiful see the top 4 Hendrick on the top 4 start and the top 4 to finish tomorrow. Spin says, Rob says Truex or Larson. I'm a Hamlin fan. I feel your pain. I know, Joshua. John Locke, thanks for becoming a rookie member as well. Appreciate you, John. Appreciate you. Chris, Byron, who else? Ford Blaney or Bad Brad. Well, Bad Brad's out. He can't do it, Ova. But maybe Blaney either. So both of them are not in the poll here. Car Enthusiast says, I'm a Larson guy, but he tried twice and didn't get past as fourth. True X for the poll for BD. What's up, Matthew? Good to see you. Elliot all the way for Brian. I wonder if Hendrick gets in the final three. Would be the first time of all. Bowman the Showman for Glenn. Byron for Tim. I just want Denny to get one. I know, man. I know, dude. So there we go. Thank you guys for your picks. Willie B. Wyatt says.
Great speed in practice. It's an uphill battle.
21 for Hendrick. Man,
you
that'd
get
be nice,
track
George.
position, and you can make this happen.
There, to your point, there are 37 cars here that will start the race tomorrow. In 2002, Kurt
Brian,
Busch
thanks for the $5 super chat. Brian, you're the man. Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate you.
We'll see if a little bit of history.
Everybody tell Brian thank you.
Albeit slightly different with just one car extra, can go from right at the back to the front and lock himself in the championship for. That'd be something unbelievable.
You know what you have to have for a great comeback? You have to first be behind.
Yeah.
And that's where they are.
Yeah.
Breeze the pole, Lemon.
Right? Just embrace it. Think about it from an opportunity standpoint, not from the negative standpoint. The negative is clear.
I'd like to see Priest and Harrison Burton on the front row. Would that be
as a race team? We overcame the odds, and that team can do it. There's been a lot of pressure on that pit crew. That pit crew is a top 10 pit crew. You get a low. You don't have to. You only have.
I
to
remember that Snake. Oh my God, I remember that. Yes,
good restarts. Good selection of
time changer. What's up?
Choose. Next thing you know, you're running top 20. Next thing you know, you pick up a few on a restart. You pick up a few. Next thing you know, you're top 10. This team can do it.
And guess what it might give us, Jeff? It might give us another phenomenal finish, which we have been treated to in this season 2024.
All right, so here we go with qualifying A for the Group 5A drivers, which is Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, Martin Truex Jr. And then your Group B is Harrison Burton, Willie B, Ryan Preece, Alex Bowman, Ty Gibbs. Or I don't think that's it. I think that's how they're all placed there. I can't remember who's in Group A and Group B. I'm going to put in the pin message above, guys, the link to our Xfinity race. So we'd love to see you guys in the Xfinity race today. And that starts at 2:30 Central. Maybe a little later, about 2:40. I don't know. We'll see if we can get there at 2:30. Channel. 388 likes. Let's go. Get it there, y'all. There it is. So we're just showing all the close wins here. This ought to be exciting. That's right, Rob. But thanks, guys, for all the new memberships, all the likes today. And I'm going to put in the pin message the Xfinity race today. So we're 12 subscribers away from 27,500. Help us 11 now. 11 subscribers. Join us for the Xfinity race at 2:30 p.m. Central. There's Alex Bowman.
The rear tires up a little more than we needed to in round one. I was a little greedy with my entries and had to make up for it on exit. So we'll see how much that comes back to us. But all in all, not a bad qualifying effort for our 48 Camaro. And yeah, hopefully we can end up pretty decent here.
Good luck. If you look at the charts, the Hendrick Motorsports organization has done a good job with their homework for qualifying this weekend at Martinsville.
Alex climbs back aboard the 48.
I know we're going to go on at 2:30 though.
Of course,
it starts at 4.
That historic, that very memorable Hendrick Motorsport 1.
It starts at 4 Eastern or 3 Central.
Anniversary for the organization.
We're going to go on for pre-race show.
So while we get ready for the second phase of qualifying, let's remind you that there is racing today. The Xfinity Series has its final race in the round of 8 to determine
who will fight for a championship next weekend. That's at 4 p.m. Eastern on the CW. Prior to that is NASCAR Countdown Live. And then tomorrow, we look forward to seeing you on NBC Network Television, Countdown to Green at 1:30. And we'll go racing with the Xfinity 500. It's the final race. It's the cutoff race to shape the championship
Byron destroys Bell. I just don't
next
see
week.
two making it.
That's at 2 p.m. Eastern, again on NBC.
Two great races this weekend. That Xfinity race has been wild. Let's call it wild. It has been
Thank you guys for getting us to
physical
400
the
likes.
last
Let's go.
couple
Keep
years.
it going.
We have 4 drivers in that race that pretty much have to win to advance to Phoenix with a chance to win the championship. And we have seen...
Yep, I know, G-Ray.
A lot of issues in that race. We're interested to see what happens.
Another
later
great driver,
today.
Mark Martin. And we're waiting on someone to say, but he deserved to win it that year when he was disqualified and he lost to Dale Earnhardt by 26
Just
points.
perfect to be at the track. Great for the fans. Pretty comfortable for the crews and the cars as well. Just a gorgeous Saturday here in Martinsville. And we're about to set the grid for the Cup race tomorrow for the Xfinity 500. Austin Dillon had the 5th best time for Group 1, and we'll see the cars roll here shortly.
Did you pick the music?
I did not.
In the background?
I did not.
Were you DJ today?
I did not. I did not. I'll do some DJing next week at our rap party. How about that?
I prefer you don't. I've heard some of the music.
Going backwards, Bronny.
Hey, there's your old boss.
One of
your old
I didn't
bosses.
see them.
Richard Childress. He's going to watch his grandson roll here shortly. There is the 3, the Bass Pro Shops Chevy. All right, we hear some.
All right, here we go.
Sweet
Austin
V8
Dillon.
sound. Let's go. Things are going to happen fast, and we'll know who's going to be in a prioritized position tomorrow here in Martinsville. This is the sole RCR car.
Mikey, it's
in this
NBC
second phase of
Sports app.
qualifying.
Tell you what, that car took me loose on corner exit, but came to the start-finish line, looked like with a ton of grip.
Ronnie said he picked Truex for the pole before this last round starts here. We'll see if he comes
All right, let's get our
through.
first look at some time from Austin Dillon. Sub 20, that's a good start, 19.950.
That's awful what he was able to run. His first run.
He said he's going to be a champion car owner before
cleaner,
driver.
more tidy looking lap. It's faster.
Smoother for sure, and it is faster, 19.856. Good comeback there from Austin Dillon. So sets the time for everybody else to chase. Harrison Burton rolls out in the Wood Brothers Ford.
There's Burton. I want a Ryan Preece, Burton front row.
Jeff, it seems so simplistic as Harrison is on the clock now, but how
Two drivers that won't be in their cars next year.
On a half-mile track like this, you just got to come out and go, and you're asked to be perfect in such a short span of time.
I just think
He was not a happy. He was not a happy. Fans were not happy
You do
with
have
him.
to be precise, but you have to do it while you're hustling the car. Harrison's going to run a little
Here we
bit
go,
quicker
Harrison
than
Burton,
Austin.
P1.
19.807, good first lap.
Well, I got tight that second lap. You could see the front tires. You could see them turn. Maybe trying to get
we can
a
get
little
to
bit more
500
speed
likes.
with entry.
Hustles it into 3, off 4. Harrison Burton's qualifying here at Martinsville is done.
What's up, Like?
And that first lap time is the one that's going to carry him through. So he's setting the pace now.
Talked about Daniel Hemrick and his team after announcing he's not going to be there. That team continued to perform the same with his 21 team. None of those guys have quit.
He's got
They've actually had their
JGR.
best runs
Here's
and
Chase.
most consistent speed since that announcement.
Alan Gustafson, the crew chief of this number 9
Is it
Napa
beer
Chevy,
time?
told me this morning, I'm so thrilled with this team, especially the last couple of weeks. And then Chase echoed the same sentiments to Dave Burns. So they're feeling good. They've got their mojo. They've got some momentum at the moment. There's Alan.
So don't be surprised to see a positive result.
I
from
guess
this
Wesley,
driver,
I guess
team,
everybody's upset the
not
way
only
he
here
raced.
today, but also tomorrow as
Taylor
Elliott
Gregg,
goes to the top.
Got all he could on that first lap. Used every bit of racetrack. I don't think there's going to be more speed this second one. He maximized it. Yeah, he did. That was a great job of driving on that first lap. He got everything that there was out of that race car.
Chase, P1.
19.758 seconds is good enough to be the pace setter. And when the confidence is high and this team is performing, watch out for the 2020 Cup Series champion. He wants a shot at being a two-time champ as Ryan Preece fires into action.
So far, everything's followed the plan,
Ryan
right?
Preece.
So they go out slowest to fastest in the first group. See if Preece can miss the corner a little bit in the middle. I think there's some speed left in this car, though. I think he can clean this up and have a good lap.
I'm sure, Kelly.
Goes to Green.
Even
He's
though he said
dancing on that line. It's close.
Race him clean.
It sure is close to the pace setter. Preece, third, 19.831.
Can the second lap be better? Let's see.
Preece.
Feel like he just overdrove just a little bit that first lap. Nope, just not there.
It's not going to be there on this second lap, is it? It's gone about a tenth of a second away, so it stays as is. Chase Elliott, Harrison Burton, Ryan Preece, and Austin Dillon.
It's so difficult. You're walking on a tightrope, right? Yeah. And if you lean just a little bit one way, you fall off of it.
That's good, I guess. We'll try to do a Braves video as well as a couple of weeks from
Ryan
now.
tried to get a little bit too much.
Now, is there something from the Preece run that the team will communicate to Chase Briscoe, who's on track now?
I don't think it's enough time.
Right.
Really, I think it's the communication would have been more of a change to the air pressure rather than a driver change.
Real says not going to be enough for Elliott to hold the pole.
Chase Briscoe hustling this Mahindra Ford. Off turn 2, it was green. It's just dipped into the red.
Back in the green again.
Now talking about hundredths and thousandths of a second.
Oh,
First
did
lap,
not get it.
Second,
9 thousandths of a second.
7.67.
Danny, it's on NBC Sports app.
It just underscores how good that first lap was from Chase Elliott.
Yes. And for all the playoff guys, if he can pull this off, advantage Chase Elliott.
Finishing it off, Briscoe. And again, what was that first lap that got it done?
What do you want most at Martinsville? Track position.
Yep.
Chase Elliott and that team, they came here today and they executed on it, and they have it better than any other playoff driver that's in a must-win situation.
Briscoe P3. Well, they have him in P3. But
So check this out on how much the playoff standings change.
thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like button for us. Hit that subscribe as we're breaking down the last 5 drivers here. We'll see who gets the pole. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We got 27.5. You guys are amazing. Thank you guys for doing that for us. See if we can get to 500 likes really quick. We got 5 more drivers to go to crown the pole champion here for the Xfinity 500 for tomorrow. We'll be bringing that race to you live tomorrow. Flag-to-flag coverage. The stream will be up later. And if you guys are just joining us, Denny Hamlin is not in qualifying. He wrecked his car in practice. And the backup car is not in. They're trying to fix the regular car.
Uncanny that the last 2 guys to be locked into the round of 8 are the first 2 to win. Remember? when we were at the Roval and Joey had that nail-biting thing, and then we'll never forget his post-race interview, how disappointed and dejected. And basically by the time we're all having dinner on Sunday night after the Roval, it was announced that Alex Bowman was disqualified. Joey gets through. He makes it through and is the first to win. Reddick was scrambling and fighting as hard as he could at the Roval that day. And then he's the second to win and lock himself into the championship 4. The last 2 in are the first 2 to confirm their spots in Phoenix.
And what's so interesting, we've seen playoff to that point, playoff drivers step up in the playoffs. But as we said, Chase Elliott, the only guy in the first group in the playoffs to make the final 5. And a lot of teams, Briscoe, Harrison Burton, Preece, Austin Dillon, those guys have nothing to lose. They have great
Bowman
track
never
position to
live
start
it
this
down.
race. They're only here to do one thing, and that's
Lived
go
about
win.
200 miles from Larson's
They have the track
hometown.
position that we talked about how important it is for Chase Elliott. It means just as much to them.
All right, so Chase has to withstand
I love the
5
battle
more
between Pop and
challenges,
Desert Fox in our chat.
Some of those challenges are his
Y'all
teammates.
CeeLo jinxed him, I
Elliott
know.
hasn't had a pole in 2 years.
It's Lawson.
Since Watkins Glen 2022. So it would come at the most ideal time if he can stay in that pole position.
I did make
Here
the
comes
top
Kyle
5.
Larson.
Yeah, Kyle Larson 7 points behind the cut line, so
Larson
qualifying well
in the
to put him in a
green.
position to get valuable stage points.
He's in the green, Jeff. He's in the green. It just drops to the red. Where is it? No, couldn't quite do it. 19.809 for lap 1.
Whoa, not going to be able to go faster this lap.
You're welcome, Jeanette.
Rotated on the exit of 2.
Larson's qualifying is done, and he stays in a provisional second spot.
All Hendrick front row right now. We'll see what happens
challenges
here.
to come for Elliott.
That's the slowest lap. I mean, it just wasn't the pace you would expect to see from Larson. The car was just around. When I say it's the slowest lap, I think
Regine, he finished in the top under the past 5. Here goes Bowman. I'm sorry.
Not near
Bowman.
the group he needed.
Alex Bowman told Dave earlier he was pretty happy with his early practice.
This is the
and
second
qualifying
group,
run.
yes,
Let's
Andrew.
see if that transfers here to final speed in qualifying, if he can dislodge his teammate from that top spot. And then also think about how fast Martin Truex Jr.'s car was. Watch this.
Bowman the showman, P1.
The dream runs over for Chase Elliott. His teammate pushes him off that provisional pole.
Oh, Hendrick. Bronny, you were right earlier this week about how Hendrick dominates
Bowman
here.
with a 19.744 opening lap. Really smooth, really fast. And he's going to finish it off here with a 19.8 lap. Great qualifying
Almost
run.
the 500
Alex
likes.
Bowman.
Get us there, y'all. Hit that subscribe. We're halfway
Hendrick
to
Motorsports
27
1, 2,
or
and
28,000.
3 at the moment as Ty Gibbs hits the track.
An unconventional lap in the first qualifying run. Let's see if he does it again here. Yeah, see, nowhere near the bottom. Doesn't leaves on the bottom, but that corner entry really high.
Those are for members only.
Trying to kind of diamond the
Members
racetrack,
only.
run up the
Rookie
corner
members
in the
only
middle.
glass, brother.
Chevrolet 1, 2, and 3.
Ty
No
Gibbs.
more. It's a Toyota on
P1.
top. Ty Gibbs, 19.743.
He's not done.
To your point, Jeff, it might be unconventional, but it's working.
Think about that. He ran a 7.43. Bowman ran a 7.44.
So Bowman should be on the front row, not Elliott.
Top with 2 cars left.
When you hear or read someone got penalized because something was off by 50 thousandths of an inch, that's why.
Yeah.
Because separated by that thousandth of a second around a half-mile racetrack, every little thing matters.
This car in the opening round of qualifying looked like it was on rails. It's William Byron, the Liberty University Chevy. Here we go. The last one in qualifying to fly the flag for Hendrick Motorsport. Has he got enough? He sure has. This amazing run
Willie B.
continues. 19.735 for William Byron.
I think the door is open, though. He did not have a great turn 4. So
All right,
if
Martin Truex, the last
Truex
one
can
here.
maximize his lap, there's an opportunity for Truex to beat him.
Truex repeats what he did earlier. He's going to be sitting on the pole position. And here we go.
Here's Truex.
The auto owner's insurance Toyota Camry. Martin Truex Jr. is on the clock now. Posted the fastest lap ever
Truex
by
in
a
the green.
next-gen car here at
Down the
Martinsville earlier.
backstretch.
Does this
In the
run
red.
continue?
Green. Pole setter, Truex Jr.
You betcha it does.
Yeah, boy. P1, shut it down.
Shut it down. It's a pole to Martin Truex.
Don't you just love to hear that? The fans truly appreciative of this veteran's performance. He was on the pole here a year ago. And there's Coach Gibbs. While part of the team is worried about the 11
been
and
there.
the repair job for Denny Hamlin.
Should have been all JGR
Truex
for
on the pole.
Old guys rule. Third oldest pole winner ever at Martinsville.
Last pole,
19s, baby.
appropriately, was here a year ago. Well done, Martin Truex Jr. Here's a quick programming reminder. This is what's coming up
Speedway.
today and tomorrow. As after a pretty tough season, there is a moment of celebration and jubilation for the 19 crew at Joe Gibbs Racing.
You love to hear it. Exactly.
Well, he told Dave Burns earlier, I just
Almost
want to
to
have some
500
fun.
likes.
Let's go there and have some fun. And it's
All right,
always
see you in
easy
a bit,
to have
Steven.
fun when you've got a fast car. And Dave, that's exactly what Martin Truex has got.
Yes, he does have a very fast car. Is that the fun you were referring to earlier?
Yeah. Yeah, that was it. I felt great about our car on stickers, you know, and you never want to get too optimistic, but it fired off really good in practice, especially that second run with the track rubbered in, and I was like, all right, if we could just hit the balance here for qualifying, it should be really fast. So proud of James and all the guys and everyone back at JGR and at TRD, and we've haven't had a whole lot good going for us lately. This feels awesome, and anytime you're first at anything in this series, it's special and it's exciting. And
thank you, Dwayne. Thank you so much, Dwayne.
And Bass Pro and everybody that supports us. And we got some work to do
Kelly.
for tomorrow,
We'll see you later.
but hopefully we can make a gain on it and have a good day.
Let me tell you, when we say the crowd went wild, they really did. I don't know if you heard them, but have you felt the love lately in the fan just wanting you to get it one more time, whether it's a pole or a win?
Yeah, for sure. They've been great. Everybody's been great, really, and it means a lot. And 2 more chances to win. So we want it bad. We're working hard. We're not giving up, and hopefully we can get one for everyone.
Martin Truex Jr. matches his 3 wins here with his 3rd pole at Martinsville.
Congrats to Martin, James Small, and the whole group at the 19 crew for Joe Gibbs Racing. He'll lead the field to green tomorrow in the Xfinity 500. We'll see you there.
All right. Congratulations, Martin Truex Jr. Ty Gibbs on the outside. Well, no, it says, I don't know why they have William Byron there, but Truex, they never updated it. But William Byron, Truex, I guess, are going to be on the front row there. So there's your top 10. Congratulations for Martin Truex Jr. Thank you, everybody that showed up here today for the qualifying. I know when it's on NBC Sports app, not a lot of people can do it. So I'm glad we can bring that content to you guys like we have all year, no matter what. So remember that next year. We're always here for you guys. We've been here for a long time, and I'm glad the new folks just finding us just a little too late, but good enough to enjoy it this weekend for one last hurrah. So hope you guys enjoyed this. This is going to be our last NASCAR Cup practice and qualifying, unless something else happens out of the blue, which would be crazy. But I have enjoyed bringing these to you on Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons, sometimes late Friday afternoon, sometimes. But you guys have always shown up. You guys have always hit the like. You've always hit the subscribe, and we've had a good time. Even though we're not showing anything, you guys still show up and have a good time. So this is our last Cup Series practice and qualifying for the year. We'll not be able to do it next weekend. I will be on a cruise ship, but I hope to have a good rest of the day. The pin message above is the Xfinity race. We're going to have a good time on that one. Make sure you join us here in about 10 minutes or so. It might be a little more than that, maybe 20 minutes. Don't freak out if I'm not there at 2:30, but if someone comes in the chat looking for it, make sure you tell them I'll be on here in a little bit. So let me shut all this down, reset everything, and we'll see you in a little bit for the Xfinity race. I want to thank my lovely wife, Spain, for all the lovely wife things that she does while I sit here. I want to thank my mods for moderating. I want to thank no new members today, all the new members today. Becky and John and a whole bunch of new folks becoming members here. Lots of super chats today as well. Pop, Coach, Mark, Jamie, whole bunch of people super chatted. I appreciate you as well. So thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in a little bit. Let me shut all this stuff down, reset everything, and we'll see you for the National Debt Relief 250, the Xfinity race. We'll have cameras, the live audio, all that good stuff. We're going to have a good time. Let's see who gets in the championship war. But congratulations, Martin Truex Jr. for the win, or for the pole for the Xfinity 500. We'll be tomorrow with you. So if you don't like Xfinity racing and you just like NASCAR Cup Series, we'll see you tomorrow afternoon. If not, we'll see you in about 20 minutes or so. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of the day. If not, see you in a little bit. Thanks, guys.